Welcome to Pritchard Pub. Don't forget to sub to the pub, like this video, please, and join the discussion. We want to know what you want to see, what you like, and how you feel about everything. You know, the stuff.
What
is he doing? Oh, see what he's doing. He's playing with it. One of those toys that you like put your hand on and flip it over, and some of the needles fall down, so it has the handprint. That's pretty cool.
Can you give us a ride to shore?
Sure, but I'll have to make 2 trips.
So you're from outer space, huh? I heard the surfing's choice.
We have 626.
Take him to my ship.
Leave him alone.
Hold on.
Grand Councilwoman, let me explain.
Silence! I am retiring you, Captain Gantu.
I think I should.
You're the cause of all this. If it wasn't for your experiment 626, none of this.
Stitch.
What?
My name Stitch.
Stitch, then. If it wasn't for Stitch...
Does Stitch have to go in the ship?
Yes.
Can Stitch say goodbye?
Yes.
Thank you.
Who are you?
This is my family. I found it all on my own. It's little and broken, but still good. Yeah, still good.
Does he really have to go?
You know as well as I that our laws are absolute. I cannot change what the council has decided.
Can you give us a ride?
So yeah, this it's the classic.
I've never seen it, so now we're for sure watching it. I've always wanted to, I just haven't done it. He's been on me to do it. So it's time. That's him nudging me.
I knew that one clip from Lilo and Stitch would have sold her on it. I think
Would rope your wife in.
Yeah. Here's another one.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Alexis? Oh, this is perfectly
That movies look the same.
You look so beautiful. Look at you. Jesus Christ, thank you. It won't be long. She just has to decide on the style. And then it'll be See, I was hoping for something big and kind of bouffant, you know, kind of like mine. Now, don't you worry, kisses, you're going to be just fine, honey. You're going to be so pretty. Yes, you are.
Same person in every role.
I think so, yeah.
Eddie, is there anything you can't do? You take my very breath
With the
away.
cars,
I swear,
though.
look at this.
Way ahead of the time there.
Have you ever cut a woman's hair? Would you cut mine?
He's way too hot and bothered by this shit. Scissors through the skull.
Cool music. sad thing is that's probably true.
What?
It's probably true.
It's a movie.
Good
I
stuff.
don't know why my husband put that on there.
Oh my goodness. I don't know why I put it on there either. And I know for a fact I didn't watch the full 3 minutes when I picked it up. So, but I was just like, Edward Scissorhands. Let's go. That wasn't too good of a video.
All my friends are here, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make a sudden
Got a penis?
You don't know the half of me.
Penis on fire.
Fire King.
Burning dick. Alberno Dicko.
I liked this one because it literally it just shows how easy it is. It's like
All right.
people who make thumbnails.
Next burning penis video, please.
People who make thumbnails can relate. That's all I'm saying.
I'm like, shut the fuck up. Someone's trying to sleep.
Right?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
I am good. I am good.
Justified.
Yeah.
Aww. Open the reach. Oh. What the fuck? I don't feel bad no more. Oh, they're both assholes. Aww.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
You have powers! Yeah!
Now. I said now. Come on, I tell you, come on. Want to get two?
That joke always reminds me of Xander.
It's a little less effective.
Yeah.
And he knows to be gentle with animals. So. I'm proud of him for that. Crazy Town, yeah, but Flintstones be with animals for sure.
You have powers! Yeah, baby! And there's not a scratch on you! Did you go through the locked door? Are those your powers? Ha ha! Who can multiply like rabbits and go right through any solid...
The existential dread sinking in when you
Oh
said
my god.
they really knock it out of the park. Knock it out of the park. with
Yeah,
those.
Edna's my favorite, I think, though.
Edna mode. Now we're gonna start looking through here.
Just start playing some, Andy.
Do you want me to go up or down?
I don't care.
Okay. Go here.
We need to talk about our lovely King James I.
It's
You
not
know,
on
the
this,
person
Andy. It's not even on
who
the
wrote
screen.
translated version of the Bible.
My bad.
All right, guys, we need to talk. We need to talk about our lovely King James I. You know, the person who wrote the translated version of the Bible.
Can't hear any of
Everyone,
us.
and your mama, and your mama's mama,
Can
and
we
their
turn it
mamas. And even now, today, we have our children read that version. I want you to ask yourself this question. Why do you read the King James Version?
I don't read the Bible.
Told you to? Because your grandma said it's the only version you should read.
My child doesn't read
Do
yet.
you know who King James is? I guarantee you don't. Because if you did, you wouldn't be reading his version.
I think most real Christians wouldn't. Any serious Christian is aware.
Just
of
pause
King
it if you're going to start talking over
Carried
her.
out the 100-year plan.
Pause it.
Second,
Oh, those are
Just pause it.
bisexual. He had lots of boyfriends.
Okay. I didn't hear what you said, so why don't you just say that when you're not talking over her? Just pause it and say it.
I
Okay.
was just saying, I think most serious Christians are aware of King James. That's all. It's his version of the Bible.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Lots.
If you're giving Christians too much credit because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about most of the time, in my experience.
He hated women something fierce. He created this book called Demonology. This book spoke about how women were demons and witches and everybody was out to kill him and this and that. Like he murdered, he burned thousands upon thousands of women. He hated women so fiercely, he killed his own mother. So, right after he wrote the book Demonology, he then decided he was going to make his version of the Bible, which was published in 1611. And anybody who was caught with the original translated version of our Bible, which is the Geneva Bible, that one was published in 1560. Okay. Anyone caught with that book, serious consequences. You could only read the King James Version. And back then, when the Geneva Bible was out, only the popes were allowed to have it. So things changed, and now King James is the only way. So not only did he make it to where you couldn't read the Geneva Bible without getting severely punished, but he altered it. The original text had the Apocrypha in it. Even when you go back to the Ethiopian Bible, the Apocrypha was in it. So King James gets a hold of it, takes out the Apocrypha, changes all kinds of verses. And you guys say that the Apocrypha and the Book of Enoch and all these other books are not substantial books because King James said so. No. You guys don't believe me? Do the research yourself. Let's be aware of what our children and the next generation is going to read and believe. God bless. All right, guys, we need to talk. We need to talk about our lovely King James I.
I personally think most Christians probably don't know that. I've never heard one person bring it up ever.
Yeah, you're probably right, babe. Let's see. I can never remember which one to click on.
Guys, I kid you not. I went to my rheumatologist today and we were talking and I was like, yeah, I'm probably going to move overseas very, very soon. And he looked at me and he's like, you're moving? And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm moving overseas in a couple of months. And he got up and hugged me. And I was like, okay. And he was like, I'm so happy for you. Please email me and tell me if your lupus gets better or goes away. And I was like, ha ha ha, like, yeah, America does cause a lot of health issues and exacerbates autoimmune diseases because, you know, autoimmune diseases are exacerbated by environmental factors like pollution and shit food and bad microbiomes and antibiotic use and stress. And so, like, yeah, moving out would probably, like, help because it would reduce those environmental factors, but not to the extent that my rheumatologist would hug me and tell me, give me his email and tell me to email him and tell him how it's going because he anticipates that my autoimmune disorder is going to like go into remission or just vanish. And he kept saying, I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you. This is the best decision you're ever going to make. You're young. This is the right move. Don't look back. Don't hesitate. I think you should do it. And he was so excited for me, which is very telling. And he's a very old rheumatologist, and he actually is the head of rheumatology. And he is very knowledgeable and wise and very experienced. And for him to just like get up and hug me and tell me that it's the best decision I'm ever going to make, and to literally like make sure that I have his email to email him about how my lupus is going to go into remission when I leave is wild to me and is very telling of what America is doing to our health. Not to be the conspiracy theorist who's like, the government is poisoning us, but we are over-medicated and unwell. We are undernourished and yet obese. We are mentally unwell.
It's
we're
not
running,
a fucking
running,
conspiracy
and yet we're staying
theory. Of
stagnant.
course they're
We
poisoning
don't sleep
us.
well.
Yeah.
Our habits are just
They're even re-examining the
terrible here.
fluoride thing.
You can end the
everybody
video.
has
We
high
get the
cortisol
gist.
levels.
Just pause
So,
it because
I mean,
honestly, like obviously, our government is bought off by pharmaceutical companies who poison our fucking food, so we get cancer and have to buy pharmaceuticals. Like it's pretty fucking in our faces. Everyone knows it.
Yeah.
And now people are talking about like, let's fucking do something about this. I'm done. Like, are you done? We're all broke. We're fucking miserable. We're done being slaves. We're done being poisoned and having no access to healthcare, whatever. And let's do something about it. And those videos are getting a shocking amount of support on TikTok. That's why they're banning it. 1,000,000 fucking %.
Oh yeah.
It's fucking disgusting. Our country is pathetic and it's fucking shameful beyond.
Yeah.
If you're not mad, you clearly don't give a fuck.
Shalom, everybody. Oh my God. We in South Carolina, and oh my God, we don't know what just hit us. It was literally sunny, and then next thing you know, winds start blowing, thunderstorms started happening, and rain started pouring, and then wind started pouring, and oh my God, let me show you. I'm literally got leaf and still. I was literally cutting. I got a knot up there. Oh my God. It looks crazy out here. Look at the side of the house. OMG. Look at the side of the house. It was nothing but God. Oh, look, it's hailing everywhere. OMG. Look how the trees came out. We were literally outside. Me and one of my sisters in Christ, we were literally outside. And look at the trees in the front yard. It was literally sunny, and then it just came through like that. Oh, look at that. Me and my sister in Christ right here.
Praise the Lord. God is so good.
Oh,
hallelujah.
My God. We were out in it. Look, she's still covered from head to toe. We were literally out here in this.
The wind picked us up.
Let me show you. Let me show you what we were in. And the tree literally fell on us. The tree. I was putting up my tent because I do tent events and stuff. And so I work with her sometimes. And so I was putting up a huge tent. And the tent and the tables and the decor is right here. And that whole entire tree literally fell on us. This just happened just now. Today, 420. The entire tree fell on us. The tent was sitting right here. It's a big old huge tent. It's a 20 by 20. That whole tree, we were under here. It fell on us. Oh, the poles. I ripped through one of the metal poles. The wind was so strong, it pushed us all the way out there, and the trees fell on us, and we barely made it. We made it up underneath the tarp over there. If you can see the tarp, somehow the Lord shielded us, and we were literally under the tarp. And the hail, look at the size of this hail. This literally hurts. It was coming down, and it was hurting so bad. It was hitting us. Me and the sister was right here. We were underneath this tree. Oh my God. This is crazy. This is crazy. We made it up the porch. From here, we made it up to the porch. Oh my God. Oh my God. I mean, huge trees were uprooted. Old trees. Y'all, it's so, look at the fog out here. Oh my God. My shoes are soaking wet. This is my car. I couldn't even get back to coast. The car, my back trunk. We're going to walk down to her house right now. We were at her nephew's house. They was having a little birthday party. That right there was a blow-up jumpy. What you see right there, and right there, it blew all the way over there. The trees. You ready, Prophetess? You gonna be able to make it down there?
Yes,
You ready?
God is good.
You guys ready for my short-term rental nightmare? I got here today to clean. Everything on the surface looked pretty good, right? Until I get into this bedroom in here. So I get in here and they had stripped the bedding. It was all on the floor, which I don't ask guests to strip bedding. I like to spot treat it before I even take it off the bed. But they had it all stripped. And upon picking it up, I see that there's like blood, tons of blood or makeup. It looks like blood to me. And all this yellow gunk, like everywhere, like neon yellow stuff. And then I see on the floor, the suspect here, some glow sticks that absolutely exploded all over this bedroom. So I decided I was going to file a claim with the guests and ask that they replace the bedding. I said there's going to be some extra cleaning involved. I'm not going to charge you for the cleaning, but I would like the bedding to be replaced. and the guest did not respond. Well, then I got in here to do some more cleaning, and I have found that trying to get this glow stick off the walls, it's actually peeled the paint. So the paint is peeling. This is my attempt to clean this yellow stuff. It just is just taking the paint right off the walls. And you can see it's just everywhere. It's all over the furniture. It's all over the artwork. It's on like even like this noise machine, like this stuff, it's not coming off. It's on my vinyl windows. So it will not come off the vinyl part of the windows. It's just looks like somebody took a highlighter to it. There's glass shards everywhere. The blinds are ruined. I have 72 hours to file a claim with Airbnb, and then hopefully AirCover covers it. We will see,
but I'd be pissed
what
too.
happens here, because
most of the time people on TikTok are idiots, and it's like people will be like, I did this horrible thing, and 70,000 people will like it and be like, yes, queen, you're validated. It's
Keep doing horrible shit.
yeah, it's really bad.
Okay, if you had to leave your daughter in the forest with either a man or a bear, which would you choose?
Well, I think both options kind of suck. I don't know this man. Oh gosh, don't know anything about the man.
No, nothing
Oh
about
man,
the
you're
bear.
there.
Nothing about the bear.
Oh my gosh, I feel like he's in a
Not the bear. Like,
It just shows you how much I don't trust other people. I don't know.
it's a hard
The
choice
man.
for sure.
I was
but,
going to
like,
say,
man.
define, okay, if you had to leave your daughter in the woods with a woman or a bear,
Oh, woman. Oh,
the fact
In a
that we
second.
live in a society where that's what women have to deal with all the time, of the fear, you felt the fear
hmm
of leaving your daughter in the woods with a man.
yeah.
This is how women feel walking to their cars at night.
No, like the level of thinking one of my kids, trusting my kid with a bear or a strange man is a horrifying position. Like, is that a horrifying walking to your car by yourself?
If there's just a man there,
Oh, you see like a man out. Oh, you
Yes.
see like a dude?
Yeah.
Oh no, that makes sense. And oh, okay, I got it.
is that shocking to you?
Very shocking. Wow. I'm gonna need a second with that one. That's very eye-opening.
Okay.
Great
If you
eye-opening.
had-
I agree. I think that's a good video. I really do. I think it puts it into perspective a little bit. But I would also be hesitant to leave my child with a stranger at all, woman or not. I don't trust anyone. So
Second Amendment rights. Keep the
No,
bears
it's
and the
not.
men away.
well, yeah, we can play this one. I just say a lot.
Thank you
in
for
the
this
video.
comment. You know, I go into various television stations to record segments about the victims of the untreated pain epidemic. And when a reporter says, well, you know, Claudia, the pendulum has swung too far the other way, my response is always the same. There was never a prescription opioid epidemic. I mean, from the CDC's own mouth, the CDC said that they conflated pill overdoses in with heroin overdoses. So how many people died from prescription pain medication alone? Can't find any. Can't find any. And what we want people to understand is when we see the media say 200, 300,000 people died, research how many people died from taking a prescribed opioid that they've been taking for years with nothing else in their system. Those deaths don't exist. That's a tough pill for people to swallow, no pun intended. You know why it's a tough pill for people to swallow? Because they were duped by anti-opioid organizations together with Dr. Tom Frieden. Opioid prescribing is at the lowest it's been in 20 years. And guess what? We are witnessing the greatest overdosing epidemic of history. The United States government created a fake opioid epidemic, and then these friggin' idiots managed to make their own opioid epidemic worse by opening up the black market. And now we got 122,000 dead Americans, and they were poisoned by illicit fentanyl. And if you think it's bad today, give it another year. Because now the feds are going to be targeting the Adderall prescribers. And we got kids that are already hitting the street out of desperation because they can't get their ADHD meds. And mom and dad are finding them dead in the bed because they were poisoned by illicit fentanyl. No, no, no. There was never a prescription opioid epidemic. We thank you folks so much for supporting our efforts at the Doctor Patient Forum. We're trying to get you help. Thank you for.
So there's actually a chart that shows when all of the pain patients started getting cut off their drugs. I mean, exactly with that, the fucking overdoses have skyrocketed. It is terrifying. So not only pain patients, but now ADHD patients, anxiety patients, it's going to keep getting worse and worse when people have to hit the fucking streets for any of that. It's horrible. And if you're in a position where you can't get pain medication for whatever reason, because they're going to tell you to get these harmful injections that are banned in other countries. They're not FDA approved. They make you worse. Or they're going to say, try this Suboxone or buprenorphine, because why? You're saying that prescription opioids such as oxycodone make your pain worse, yet you want to give someone Suboxone or buprenorphine, which goes into the same receptors, but that won't make your pain worse. It's because it's a fucking lie. The doctors are lying to you. They're trying to get you to do CBT for pain. It's crazy. So if you have an issue, go to the Doctor Patient Forum. It's really helpful to know your state laws and what you can do about it to advocate for yourself or get help with an advocate.
Yes.
Shit, I'll advocate for you too. Hail John Douglas! Oh, hail Kahuna!
And the Kahooner?
Kahooners? The Cahoons?
In Asia, if I give you a gift, you would not open it in front of me because that would be considered greedy, that you had no self-control. You would even put it aside. You wouldn't make a fuss of it. You'd wait till I leave and then you'd open it.
What?
But in America, if I give you a gift and you did that, that would be very rude. You'd be showing no respect.
Yeah.
In America, if I give you a gift, you would open it in front of me, make a big fuss of it, talk about how much you love it. Right?
Very true.
And so these things are contextual. In Asia.
So I think that's interesting. And yes, we want a guest. There's something that happened to me in Italy. Well, it's not just me. It's kind of a thing. So in the States, when we give people change, we put it in their hands. And there's like an actual slot in Italy where they set your change down because it's considered rude to put the money back in someone's hands. It's like, I thought that was rude when you're putting my money on the counter. I'm like, what the fuck? But it's just interesting how cultural differences can be just polar opposite, you know, is considered rude or not.
Oh yeah, I always found that fascinating with East and West.
Yeah.
Endlessly fascinating. Like, I really hope our cultures continue to get along like they have been with like America and South Korea, or I should just say Japan and South Korea in general. Even a lot of China is very
Asia,
you know, pro-America. But yes, we'll move on to the next one here.
Show me your completely useless secret talent.
Why, gladly. Goat noise.
Completely useless secret.
All right.
I mean, damn.
While you sitting up here with my goddamn silverware missing every motherfucking week, I gotta go through the same shit buying silverware. I just bought 2 boxes when we went to Walmart, and we got 1 fucking spoon, no forks, and half of a motherfucking knife, nigga.
Half of a knife.
Half a knife.
I don't know. Where did it be going?
I don't know. In your nasty ass room.
It's probably in your room.
Keep talking, motherfucker. Keep talking.
How about we just buy plastic forks and spoons from the Dollar Tree?
How about you get your ass out this motherfucking house and go buy some silverware?
I'm going to just buy sporks since we can't find.
Shit. While you sitting up.
Good old wholesome family arguments.
Yeah, that was pretty relatable family energy.
People are desperately seeking realness.
My energy. What up?
Hey.
Oh, that popped up, and I'm like, why does John look so fucking different?
The video.
Then I realized it. Just cut to that
Oh.
guy on the video. Like, what?
How we doing tonight, Bob?
Man, I came home. I just got off a 6-day stretch of work. I come home after picking my son up from school. Man, I was wiped out. I crashed on the couch and I woke up like, oh, it's 11:30. Yeah, I'm not sleeping for another few hours. And I happened to see you guys were live. I said, hey.
Hey.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, happy to have you.
No problem.
Oh, son of a.
She got her knee. Oh no.
You found the table.
Yeah.
What y'all been up to?
These late night ones can get lonely sometimes, but they have their advantages. The night owls. Every now and then Kahuna will pop in, Tim Allen, some other familiar faces.
Oh, love Kahuna. He's always great to talk with. And he's a good guest host as well.
He is, dude, and he's like super well read and low key, like really smart. He doesn't. he plays it off with his character.
He's a really great guy. And so are you. We're very happy to have you. And I'm excited because I've never been on a stream with you before. I hope. I hope I'm right about that.
I think you're right.
I'm gonna stream this to my audience too. Maybe I can bring in a few folks.
All right, brother.
I've definitely been like, we should get this person on our stream. And Andy's like, we've already had that. I'm like, what? Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, all right. There we go. Maybe a few other folks will see. No, I normally you guys are streaming when I am just flat out knocked out. Like I have not worked a lot of night shifts lately, so usually you guys are streaming when I'm sleeping, and catch the replay the day before, the day after.
Wait a second. You're the red phone at work, right?
Yeah.
Is that you?
Red, yeah. That's a legendary story.
Oh God, that was hilarious. And I've always that was finally that moment I've been waiting for years, that I was there during the day, because it only rings during the weekday apparently. And the story is actually not as the truth is not as interesting as your imagination is. Apparently it's just it goes to some kind of line somewhere, and it's not as interesting. It's kind of pointless. The reason you don't pick it up is because you'll hear nothing on the other end except like a fax line or fax noise. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So, but it's still funny. The fact it says, do not answer this phone. And then it starts ringing. Oh God, what do I do? It was the whole setup for phone booth.
Yeah.
Don't tell me to not answer a red phone when it rings. I'm picking up.
It might be Batman.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
One little. Hello.
Finally in the right place, the right time. Had my phone out to take the video of it so I could put it online. Like, what do I do? What do I do? Oh shit!
Like, I'm ready for my instructions.
Yeah. What do I?
Yes, Mr. President. I
It's
understand,
just
Mr. President.
it's like a strange tone that just activates you. Your subliminal messaging.
Oh, I hope so. I don't think so. I'm not interesting enough for something like that. What are they going to? Plus, my imagination would just start wanting to write books while I'm in the middle of the mission anyway.
I got it. You secretly know that we're in the Matrix, and you've always known it. That's why you're a writer. And when you pick up the phone, you exit the Matrix.
Yeah, I'll take the blue pill. It's okay. I'm all right.
You should bring up the chat.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna bring up the chat, and then we'll get back to the video. You got Sam.
Some okie
Okies.
dude. Hey,
What up?
we're
Hey,
wonderful. How are you?
And yeah, we got a few more viewers coming in here, so I'll just move.
Before we watch the video, I did want to say we watched a video before and Andy and I disagreed on something, but that's because I had seen the video already. So he was like, pretty sure Christians already all know this. And I was like, I've never heard one talk about this like at all.
Mm-hmm.
But that's because I knew what she was about to get into and I truly haven't. So that's a little bit more context. I obviously, most of the people I know and love are Christian. It wasn't hate on them. It was just because I've truly never heard anyone talk about it, about the other book that King James wrote and all that. So just some context.
I've heard of those kind of things. I've always been kind of the belief that there's a reason. A lot of the times, when you hear people talk about, oh, these other books that got left out of the Bible, either they probably didn't mean anything or they contradicted the Bible or the books that were in the Bible. In my experience, that if it's something that contradicts Scripture, it's not coming from, I think, the same place as Christ was.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, and even from my perspective as a Christian itself, like people get confused, they're easily led astray. But when it comes to the thing that I've always grown up noticing is that when it comes to other religions, other faiths, other beliefs, they all end up doing the same thing, which is denying that Christ was the Son of God and that the path to salvation is through him. And that kind of commonality really spoke something to me, that that one scripture, I don't remember the exact one, that more or less it says, broad is the path of destruction and narrow is the path of salvation. And so when you've got all these other, you can take all these other paths to salvation, but not the one to Christ. Oh, really? Just so happens all these other faiths, all these other religions, all these other gods, all end up saying the same thing. Don't believe in Christ. That common denominator tells me that a lot of them are trying to lead you astray. That's how I've always believed.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, or at the very least, they're onto something,
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that insight. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think it was based.
I was baptized. I can't talk, but I still can't talk.
We got an echo in our
I
ears,
was
so forgive us.
baptized and
Sorry.
raised Lutheran, but I always went to a free church. I've sat in on Catholic services too, but even like going to Awanas in youth group and stuff, I really do not remember most of what I've read in the Bible. I mean, there's parts, of course, but so I feel like I'm like relearning stuff from a lot of Christian friends.
I was fortunate that I had several pastors and a very spiritual mother who were very good at explaining scriptures and, summarizing these things in a way that it was not overwhelming and it made sense to me. So I was fortunate, and that's where I've gotten a lot of my spiritual advice from. And if I'm ever confused on something spiritual, I can just call my mother. My mother converted over from Catholicism when I was 12, and the whole family kind of got saved because of her. And so ever since then, she's been a student and a servant of the church. And she's never, had aspirations to be a pastor. She's always been, she's always felt, she was a servant at heart. And I took some of that inspiration, because from her in the creation of Denny, who was one of the main characters or one of the side characters of the Black Crown. I based his whole faith around the notion of these people are humble. That their sect is called the Unexalted Faith. And they're people who feel they're driven to be servants to others. They're there to help others, aid others, be selfless. And because of that, their faith does not really have like an hierarchy, because, striving for a position of leadership is considered not being humble. It's considered self-serving and self-aggrandizing.
Yeah.
So naturally their faith is a little disorganized and, kind of comes across as more or less kind of like a bunch of homeless people all sharing a bit of a space. But you know, they're goodwill workers though.
Yeah,
they do organize enough to try and do you know, good things for others. And that's where Denny kind of comes into play. That's why when you hear me describe the book, he's referred to as a helpless elf, because in my efforts to try and do things differently from other fantasies, you know, usually when you think of the elf in a fantasy story, you know, what are they? They usually got a bow and arrow. They usually go with magic, you know, connection to nature and all that. And Denny is none of those things. I can actually bring up Denny's picture.
Yes.
On this.
When we finish the Black Crown, if you ever want, I'm going to record ours soon, but I have the Katie in me where I'm actually going to do like formal pre-recorded interviews that are, in my opinion, really good questions. So if you want to be a guest on that at some point, I could send you questions over and see if that's something you want to do.
Oh, sure. I'd love to do that.
That's awesome. I love your character.
This artist nailed Denny's demeanor and look perfectly. Like there was it just right from the get-go, absolutely nailed it.
That's something AI sure can't do, at least not yet either, because that emotion is you can only get that from a person. I truly believe that.
And because I commissioned this art before the book was finished, I actually added a line in the book about this picture, kind of in a bit of a meta way, when Rags is going through his journey and adventure with them. Whenever they stop, he'll usually write something about the journey in an empty journal he has, and he'll do a sketch. And he did a sketch of Denny, and Denny's got this, looks in there and says, why do I look worried? He says, are you worried? Should I be worried?
That's awesome. I love that.
Should I be worried?
Yeah, should I be worried? You know, just a little. It's fun little bits like that. I actually just got done reading a book that's got full of a lot of interactions like that. I got to do the
it. It's
review
like
tomorrow.
an Easter egg.
Yeah, a little bit.
The artist.
I just got done with this book, The Crew, by Sadir Samir, and this is like a novelized anime, by the way. You can probably tell it's inspired by anime with the guy that looks like Inuyasha on the front.
Yeah. Totally.
Like this book is like 80% character interactions. And so if you like, you know, lighthearted anime that doesn't take itself too seriously and, you know, fun characters that bicker back and forth with each other, you'll probably like that book.
I'm just putting that in my notes.
Yeah, nice.
It was a fun, quick read. Didn't take itself too seriously. Didn't get too heavy though, but a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Good.
And very imaginative. I knew when I got to a point where they were fighting a naked guy a flying naked guy with who was covered up by a gigantic beard, throwing exploding fish out of a bucket. That shit had officially hit the fan.
Yeah.
What the hell am I doing? What the hell am I got myself into?
Yeah. That's just a good visual. Great visual. Yeah. So without further ado, we will
oh boy.
Glad to hear the chat's doing good, by the way.
Yes. I'll queue up. I have a special clip for when we get back at it.
Whoa. Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
Say the weird thing. People are desperately seeking realness.
My inner dialogue is some of the most absolutely unhinged shit you've ever heard in your life. And it can go from deeply philosophical to complete gibberish to making noises no human being should or has ever made. And on the surface, I can look calm, cool, and collected, but inside, I have the leprechaun in the hood screaming, "Hither my hand, hither my hand." I probably need to be institutionalized.
I mean, that's just how I am all the time in this house. So I feel like, especially when I'm around my people,
yeah,
you know,
we all got to say
at
the weird
home.
thing.
Oh yeah, we're just making noises and being wild in this house all the time, singing random things.
Nothing wrong with that. And don't apologize for the kid either, because I'm a parent. I got 3. I know how it is. They can get out of control and you make a little noise, especially when they're that little. Funny church. Speaking of church, there was this one time we had a guest speaker that came there, and we had most of our church was a lot of small families. Someone had a baby, and we didn't have a cry room at the time, and the baby was fussy. And this guest speaker stopped the sermon and asked, "Can we get the baby out of the oh gosh, what was the tabernacle? What the preaching? Oh my gosh, I've forgotten what we call the room that we preach in. Shoot.
What is it? Altar room? Service room?
Service room. Yeah, service room. Can we get the essentially can we get the baby out and take care of the baby before he didn't want the baby crying before he continued. And oh man, the congregation after church lit our pastor up. Do not ever let that guy come back. That was rude. They didn't appreciate it. And the mother that was so embarrassed that he asked her to do that, she actually left the church. And that also made it way worse. I was in there in the congregation. I was mad. I hear this every week. It's fine. I can hear the pastor. It's not that big a deal. Thinking that to myself. I thought he was rude, and apparently so did everybody else.
Yeah, I get really, really upset when people complain about babies crying on airplanes. I promise you, those parents don't want that baby crying. I promise you that baby doesn't want to be having a bad time.
Yeah.
And if you've ever gotten sinus block on an airplane, it hurts so bad. And they're tiny,
Yeah, you have kind of an anxiety attack that your kid is annoying other people, even though they can't help it. But what's funny is, as you get older, you become kind of immune to your own kids' cries and fussing, and you just look at them and okay, you're throwing a fit, whatever. Who cares? But when somebody else's kid does this exact same thing, I've seen people damn near lose their shit, like it's a personal affront somehow.
That's sad. I've seen a lot of parents tell their kids to shut up and be so rude to them.
Oh,
and especially after I lost Olin, I was at a gas station and this woman was so horrible to her kid. And I had a freaking meltdown about it. I was just bawled when I got to my car. I was I would give anything to have my son right now. How are you talking to your kid? With Xander, I'll be Zan, because he'll be squealing and stuff. And that's just to get his attention and stuff. And he knows he's being wild and stuff by now. He's 2, and then he'll look at me and smile what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, and what are you going to do?
Nothing,
You gotta learn to give them that good stare, that says "knock it off" or "you're in trouble."
One time
they need to learn to fear that look.
Yeah, recently I am. So when I grew up, my dad raised me, but I'd still have to go to my mom's on weekends and stuff. And my mom was one of those guttural rage screaming at me over the tiniest things. So that was very normalized for me. And as an adult, I've had to really, really learn to not be that way. And, with a child, I can't be that way. I don't understand how anyone could, in the way she did. And so Xander kept doing something and he wasn't listening over and over. And I was knock it off, and I did that really loud, guttural, horrible scream. And he threw the toy. He had 2 toys in his hands. He threw it down and started bawling.
Yeah.
And I immediately grabbed him. I'm I'm so sorry. I should have never yelled at you like that. I felt like the biggest piece of shit for 2 solid days. It was horrible. And I'm I will never do that to you again. I can't.
Yeah.
I know they need discipline, but and I know people lose their mind, but I just feel I can't do that,
Yeah, I remember when I was 5, my mom could paddle the hell out of me. And believe me, I got a lot of ass whoopings when I was a kid. But I will say I was also a destructive little shit, so I did deserve some of that, what I got. Mom used to do that thing where you make me go out to a bush and pick a switch.
Yeah.
And bring it back to her, and then she switched me with it. I've had belts, paddles. That was this one time I was 9. I did something. I don't remember what. Mom was mad. She spanked me with her hairbrush.
Oh,
And she went in, and after one whack, the hairbrush broke and bounced around the room. And we were both so startled. She was so startled, she actually forgot to finish paddling me. We were both like, wow, what the fuck?
that was intervention.
That
Yeah,
makes,
that's
my,
enough.
that makes my heart hurt, though, honestly. But I'm glad you're a functioning, solid adult.
Yeah,
sure.
believe, like I said, I'm old. I'm mature enough to understand that a lot of what I got paddled for when I was younger and got spankings for was something I had earned. Because my thing when I was a kid was I just like to, I just like trashing shit because I was a little boy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that looks interesting.
I'm
I'm gonna go grab a stick and I'm gonna bash it in and see what
I'm just
happens.
Just gonna fuck it up.
I'm
See
just
what
gonna fight.
happens.
Yeah, exactly. And when dad, when dad would be like, "Why did you do that?" I'm just, I don't know, because I wanted to. I was a little bit of a Bart Simpson at the time, and
Yeah.
a lot of people forget when that show first came out. Like his attitude was considered very, rebellious and anti-authoritarian-ish, and disrespectful to parents. There was a lot of parents groups that didn't care for The Simpsons when it first came out.
Yeah.
Bart saying, "Don't have a cow, man. Eat my shorts." This is all mild stuff now. Nowadays, kids will actually sit there and curse at each other all online. Like,
Why is
what
the machete sitting right there?
Oh, I was showing it off on stream.
Okay. I'll be right back.
I thought the kid would like it. What kid wouldn't want a machete?
Yeah. It's like, this is my
Lord,
machete,
you
and
can't
this
be
is my
leaving stuff
son.
like
and
this here.
Here's my mini collection. And
Context, yes, it
Oh,
has
yeah.
a cover, but still.
it's closer to a sword.
Right. There's a really good comic strip that's based off a line from Terry Pratchett. You've probably seen it. Where have you ever read any of Terry Pratchett's Discworld books?
No, I own one though. I have my hands on one.
Some books are about a set of characters here and there, and there's one set of books. It's about death. And the guy that ends up marrying Death's daughter and Death's family, essentially. And there's this line that got turned into a comic. It was great, where Death has his kid with him. And I don't know if it's the grandmother or some other old woman is berating him and says, "That child is playing with a sword." And his response is, it's an instructional tool. What if he cuts himself? And it just zooms in really close on his face, like, then that will be a very important lesson.
That will be really important. Yes.
Yes, it will.
Xander loves this. It's like a plastic candle with a foam, like the tridents that are red. He loves running around with that.
Oh, yeah. When my son was younger, speaking of toys, he was about 8, 9. They had really cool toys that they have not continued since. They had light up lightsabers that, they made the lightsaber noises when you touch them, not the collapsible ones, the light up ones. And man, we played with those for years until we just destroyed them utterly. And they have not sold those since, and I don't know why. They were great. I would have loved those toys when I was a kid. It was the same thing with Nerf. Nerf had a bunch of Nerf swords and Nerf toys when he was younger, and we played the hell out of those too. And they don't sell them anymore. You'd have to get them on eBay.
Yeah, I remember
The
having.
more we take away weapons and stuff for kids, like for example, wearing masks and bringing toy weapons to school for Halloween, the more we ban stuff like that, I feel like the more they are used and people have less of an understanding of them, and
it's like
then they turn 19 or 18 or whatever and buy a gun and go nuts. And
holy shit. Okay, so some of these Nerf swords that I'm looking at in good condition are between $50 and $100.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Collector's items.
These were like, oh, hey, Hale, I didn't notice you. Sorry about that. Hail the lore. Yeah, this is late for me, as it turns out. Man, I'm just coming off like a really good stretch of work. And I got home after picking my son up, and I don't got work tomorrow. and I'm just gonna crash. I just crashed when I got home. I was just wiped out. God, I was tired.
Oh yeah.
Gonna be on stream tomorrow though with Royce and Richard. The author I interviewed last week, J.R. Carroll, he's very interested in the Iron Age, and he asked me in DMs. He's like, who can I get together to kind of like be representatives of the Iron Age? You know, I said it immediately. I said, me, Royce, and Richard.
I interviewed Chris Hicks the other day, and that dude is all about Iron Age now. Also, like going into it, he didn't know too much about it because I guess he's like a film guy that is just fresh from Comicsgate at the moment. So because he like did a comic on the side, kind of like I did, and he went there to try to like develop it and stuff, but like kind of had, I don't know, it seemed like, I don't want to speak for him and say it was a bad experience, but like he had some type of experience over there. So by the end of our conversation, he was like, holy crap, Iron Age is awesome. Like, you guys seem really, really chill. You know, Kahuna was on there for a little bit. So we had like 4 solid hours of just rambling on about how important it is to like be independent and just kind of like our stories from our like journeys and stuff. So it's kind of cool seeing people gravitate towards it.
Yeah, I feel like the more people learn about the Iron Age, the better. You know, the more it kind of grows. It's grown a little slower over time, and every time it seems like it's just kind of quieted down a little bit. You know, somebody else comes out with something really good to kind of inject fresh, kind of a fresh energy into it. Razor Fist, started up with his Iron Age attacks. And I don't know what precipitated that, but I'm glad he's doing it to kind of help keep the phrase going. Yeah. I'm gonna be doing something similar myself. I need to make an intro for a stream, and I want to call it Ironcast, and it's something I can do with just the Iron Age peeps.
Yeah.
But even though I still consider anybody who's indie to be Iron Age.
That's what I was just gonna say. Yeah.
Some of us, sorry, my ears are itchy. Some of us, kind of take it up as a bit of a rallying cry, but I don't like to look at it as like a group like Comicsgate, right. Because that ends up bringing the perception of, oh, you've got your tribe here and I've got my tribe. We have to fight each other.
Factions.
We have to stand opposed to each other. No, it's not. No, we don't. And especially right now that Comicsgate's got its own issues.
Yeah, and we don't need to like go too crazy into it. Like,
no,
self-evident.
I keep my eye on it, but like, I'm not throwing my hat in that particular ring anymore. Some of the bad players and people that I just don't want on my radar anymore, I blocked them and kind of moved on. But every now and then you kind of keep an eye on.
She got the touch screen going. Oops.
Sorry. I was just saying you should have played that, and then it played it. So.
It just started playing.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
I need some more. No, I need some more sound clips myself. I haven't sat down and done a whole lot of that because when I have not had a whole lot of time to sit down for video stuff lately. I've been trying to finish this long form tribute video for like a month now, and it's taken forever, but it's almost done, and I'm ready to be done with it and put it out there.
A long form tribute.
Yes. It's not much of a secret. You can probably see some of these books over here I got for the purpose of I think one of them's missing. Where the hell is it? Yeah, whatever. It's a 1 hour tribute to one of my favorites. She was a dark fantasy author named Sarah Douglas. You've probably seen me mention her several times on the stream. She wrote dark fantasy, historical fantasy. This stuff was very good, and I read most of her books. And she was
What's her name?
Her name
I'm
is
going to put it on our list.
Sarah Douglas, Sarah without an H, and Douglas with 2 S's.
Douglas.
She's Australian.
I automatically did no H, so that's awesome.
Now, yeah, that you'll see in the tribute, you know, I go into what her work is all about, and cover the series that she's written. She was very influential in a lot of ways with her writing advice that I've taken and applied to my own writing.
Do you have a book we should start on?
The tribute will cover that. Like, I'll go over all of them, but the one book to start with is in America sold as The Wayfarer Redemption.
Okay.
Which was the book I was looking for earlier. Is that it? No, that's Sinner. Oh, here it is. Yes, this is it. This is where I started. I found this in my mother-in-law's pile of like romance bodice ripper.
Bodice ripper.
Yeah, and she was an old Mississippi housewife. And she had stacks and stacks of these books. And I saw this book sitting on top, and I looked at them. I had been reading fantasy for a few years by that point, and I said to myself, that don't look like romance. Although there is romance in it. This actually a love triangle as part of the this particular book. But and as she grew as a writer, she actually admitted later on, she's like, that was kind of a mistake, and she tried to fix it. But like, her fans loved certain characters and elements, and her editors kept bringing her back and saying, hey, that character that you blew to smithereens, please don't do that. By the way, this is an order. Keep that character, keep that character in here, please, because your fans love her. So yeah, and like I loved her work, and I felt like it's fallen into obscurity amongst all the fantasy that we have out there, and especially her work nowadays with where YA and romantasy is really popping off. It's where the industry's kind of at its peak. That's where the trend is in the fantasy industry at the moment. Fantasy publishing, romantasy, dark romance, spicy smut books that are kind of all this. She would have dominated those genres if her work was published now instead of then. And none of the booktubers, bookstagrammers, book talkers know about her. One knows, two that I know of. Brian Lee Durfee has read her book, and Razor Fist knew about her. If you watch my Razor Fist interview, when I mentioned Sarah Douglas, he said, "Oh yeah, I read her." I marked out because I never run across people who read her books. So
that's awesome. I love that when it happens.
Yeah.
So her books, which if you're mature enough to watch Game of Thrones and Walking Dead, you're mature enough to read her stuff, because it can get dark at times, especially when it comes to sex and violence. Because she doesn't shy away from it. She writes mature fantasy for adults. Fantasy with bite. Right. That's how she saw it. They're part of the human experience. So I wanted to make a tribute, rather than just review all her books, just make a tribute, talk about all her books, a little bit of her life, and I didn't have a whole lot of time to sit down and record all of this. And now I've been in the editing process for about a week and a half. And
I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah.
I've almost got it. It's over an hour long. And I've got to record one more bit for it where I go over the fact that she lived in a haunted house.
Oh, sweet.
And told the story of, this little spirit that lived in her house called Hannah, who would mess with guests if she didn't like them. It's something else. She was something else. Unfortunately, she passed away in 2011. So, she's not here anymore. And I still got a couple of her books left that I haven't read that I need to.
That reminded me of someone I was dating passed away while we were dating back when I was 16 and he was 18. And the guy I dated from when I was 17 for years, swore he would wake up at night and feel like something messing with him. And he swore one time he saw his face and he was convinced he was haunting him.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
I believe in powerful spirits that can kind of mess with you, but being a Christian, you've always got the weapons against them. And you can always make evil spirits flee from you.
I will tell you right now, when I was getting sleep paralysis for the first time, I was in a house with 2 other people, found out they were also getting it. And then when we left that house, I never got it until we lived in this creepy haunted apartment. And that was the only time I saw one of those black shadow figures. And this was before I knew people see those. And I saw a black solid shadow figure. I was on my side and it was bent at the waist and its face was this close to me. Like it was just solid black staring at me. And I could see that it had an arm either on me or the bed. And I ended up moving a week later because I was like, I'm done. Because before leading up to this, I would wake up gasping for breath and it was just creepy. So I had, I don't know what it's called, but it's a cross with a crucifix on it. And it has a little spot where you can roll up a prayer and put it in. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Vaguely. I don't know what it's called though.
Okay, so my mom had given me that and I put it on my nightstand and nothing happened after that. Like everything stopped happening, but I was like already moving out because screw that place.
Have you seen was there anything else you wanted to say?
Well, no, it's like the power of that is like, and I'm not a very religious person either. You know, I do things that people consider to be occult with my tarot, even though I read for Christians. I feel like you can easily interpret it as messages or signs from your God. You know what I mean? And it's been really helpful in my life too. But anyway, I don't feel like it's evil at all. But that's neither here nor there. It's wild that I didn't necessarily think it would work or think it wouldn't work. I just felt like putting it there and it just helped. And I think that says a lot.
Yeah. What I was gonna say is, have you seen any of those ghost hunter videos from like the Middle East? There's like Middle Eastern creators that like use Snapchat and other like Twitch also and Snapchat, and they'll like completely alone. They'll go to these remote ruin areas that are like haunted, and it's pretty apparent that they're haunted, not just based on appearance, just like the shit that's going down in the video. So like, not only is the video live, they're completely alone. You know what I mean? So it would be incredibly hard to fake this if it is, and it's like all the most realistic like poltergeist activity stuff. Like stuff is just, it's very simple. Like stuff is like being thrown at them. You know, like maybe they'll see a shadow in the mirror at best. You see a shadow dart across. You know, like it's all shadows and objects being thrown. You know what I mean? And the reason I bring this up is because of what you said. Spiritual people have the tools needed to repel these evil things, because as soon as the Middle Eastern people start praying to God, which this is Judeo, like Abrahamic religion, right? So
Yeah.
Source. As soon as they start praying to God, these jinns or evil spirits and demons they get so angry, and it's crazy.
I need to say something really quick because YouTube won't let me type it. And it's the follow-up to me saying all of my exes have one thing in common.
They live in Texas?
No, I sure hope I never see that motherfucker ever again. It wouldn't let me type it, so YouTube rejected your comment. This usually means they think it's spam. Try changing it a bit, but I don't want to change that.
Yeah. It's not spam. They police comments. You can't post links in it either.
Right.
YouTube's wonky.
But yeah,
those gin videos are insane.
Yeah.
I hadn't watched a whole lot of those because when I was a kid, when I was younger, like that was a big boom of like, you know, UFO shows in the early 90s. And I used to watch a lot of that, Unsolved Mysteries and such. And I've even seen a couple of UFOs myself in one night when I was night fishing with my dad and my uncle long ago. I have, you know, someone asked the question, you had some kind of supernatural experience. I have seen a ghost, and recently. And that was I was kind of shocked that I I had to chalk it up to that because I was on one of my night shifts at work, and at the nurse's station, you've got a hallway that goes down here and down there, and I can look down both, right? And we kind of dim the lights down off the halls, so everything's a little dimmer.
Yeah.
And I just, when you're dreaming and you're talking to somebody, and in your dream you don't see their face, but you know who they are.
Yes. Yes.
That's always been really weird and frustrating to me.
Yes.
But what happened that night was I had this sense in my peripheral vision. I saw a tall, lanky woman in a pink robe, long dark hair, an older lady, and this was in my peripheral vision. I perceived all of that in my head. When I turned, in just the bare second when I turned, there was nobody there, and I thought, did I see someone? Looked up, down, all around, no one. Down the halls, nobody in the in front of the nurse's station. I thought maybe somebody just passed by, and I missed them. No, there was nobody there. I had no choice. I had to say, you know what? It was a ghost. It had to be a ghost.
Yep.
Yeah.
You go through the why can I not think tonight? The possibilities. What's the
Oh yeah, you go through all the possibilities in your head,
But
like all the explanations.
yeah, explanations. The rational explanations.
Yep, I didn't have an explanation, but I know I saw what I saw. I know what I perceived. So I was not that tired either. It was right after I got there, so I was wide awake and still had caffeine in my system.
Frozen Douglas, can you hear us? Maybe we
Yeah.
froze.
You froze. I see you. Okay, there you go.
Did it freeze because of that video you had?
I hope not.
I think it's his end. Oh, he's back.
Oh, can you hear us?
I've been here the whole time.
Oh, there we go.
Maybe
Okay,
it was
we're back in
us.
business. Sorry, guys.
On
right.
my end, though, you guys are really slow and really blurry, though.
Okay.
Oh shoot.
Okay. Well, we'll. How about this?
It might be because
Should we
that
ditch the TikTok videos? Should we ditch that?
It's y'all show.
It's up to you.
Um.
This can just kind of turn into a Pritchard pub.
Yeah,
In a way.
we could. I'm just thinking. Well, I guess we. We already have to.
I'll probably only be on for another 10 minutes anyway. If y'all don't want to ditch that just yet.
Here, let me see
Yes.
something real quick.
All right.
Let's see if there's.
And if you guys can hear me, you are froze on my end.
I don't know why it's freezing like that.
It's got to be y'all's internet.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
okay.
okay.
You're coming back though. You're coming in and out. We can hear
I always
All right,
do.
here. Let's
you. All right, so we'll watch this one real quick then. How about that? Just to
Yeah,
get your
we
commentary.
can watch some videos. See what is it.
12 years ago, I got chased by a spider, and that led to somebody's death, and I'm about to tell you how. In 2012, I bought a pistol for like
I feel like you got a story or two like this.
1911. It's fucking sweet, right? I moved from Indiana out west to get a job with my uncle. He's out there working, shit sweet, make some money, maybe start a life out there, whatever. I'm like 17. So I fucking go out there working for him for a while. Everything's cool. Start missing home, miss a bitch or something. So I fucking come back. The day I get back, that night, somebody smashes into my truck and steals the gun. Big fucked, right? I file a report, never hear anything. Years go by, I forget about it. I'm living down in Tennessee at this point for years, for the next decade. And I get a call a couple weeks ago from the state police, Indiana State Police, and they're like, hey, man, we just recovered your firearm that you reported stolen back in 2012. And I was like, fucking great, bring it here. And they're like, no, you got to come get it. And I'm like, okay. So I drove up there. I'm up here now. I just drove up here to get it. It was like almost 600 miles. Come up here, walk into the state police laboratory where they keep all the evidence, all the drugs and guns and stuff. And the officer who took control of the firearm said, that kid got fucking smoked. I was like, he said, yeah, that fucking kid got smoked in the face. I was like, Jesus, dude. Okay, first off, I don't know what your guys' protocol is, but I don't know if I should know that. Anyway, I was like, well, what fucking happened? He was like, home invasion. He's like,
If anybody's watching, am I live and they're froze or what? Okay, I see you, Tim Allen. So it's just me talking? That's interesting. Well, it's my stream now. Beep, beep, Bat Sauce. Bat Sauce, you are... they froze and I'm live. All right. Oh, no. They're gone. Welcome to Pritchard Pub with John A. Douglas. It's my show now, bitch. All right. What am I going to do to mess this up? Let's roll some dice and see how the recovery goes. Nope. Come on. I got to get a D20. Give me a D20 before we get back. Oh, shit. There's my artificer dice. This always rolls like crap. Let's see. Roll for recovery. That's an 8. That sucks. I gotta get rid of that dice. I love that dice because it's got little gears on the inside, but man, it rolls like garbo. So let's see. What can I talk about while I'm over here? You guys, I've got good news. We're gonna have some big Black Crown news coming up soon. I don't want to give away what it is because I want this to be a complete and total surprise. But keep your eyes out. Once this big tribute video I was talking about earlier drops, it's gonna I'm gonna go try and get this filmed real quick, and it should be fun. It'll drop in the next month. Trying to do a lot more live, stuff, like not live, long form style videos, because I get a little tired of, I'm a little tired of the day. I'm working a lot more lately, and I haven't had a chance to sit down and do real short videos a whole lot lately. But I want to get, I've got a lot of video stuff in the works, and I've made a list recently because I'm trying to maximize and put out a broad net out there. I've been watching a lot of Book Talk, Bookstagram, and BookTube videos, and kind of trying to get that whole get that formula down, because the shorts is one thing that I haven't mastered yet, and that's a little frustrating for me because it's not that hard to do making them, but you got to do it the way they do it, and I just believe in that, casting out as wide a net as possible. Let me see. I'm probably going to be doing another book haul video before too long. I've got a bunch of books, and I think a comic book too that I got in the mail, so I got to make that out before the end of the month. That way it can come out before the month actually ends. And I've got this whole pile of good stuff. A lot of good things coming lately, and I'm looking forward. Just got done with a book, The Crew by Samir Sadir. I'm going to get that review out the way. That's pretty good. Pretty good little one shot. It's like a novelized anime, a little like Sister Samurai. Really funny characters interacting with each other. Really fun actions, over the top action sequences. Crazy, crazy enemies that are the characters are fighting. It was wild. It was really imaginative, really fun. Didn't get too deep. It was I will say it was a little on the shallow side, like for the plot, because the plot was very simplistic. Hey, you're back, and you're muted.
Thanks for keeping it going.
No problem. The same thing happened when I interviewed my friend Christopher Brenning, the author of The Hellborn King. and my internet went out, and he was just like, "Oh, well, I guess I'll run the show for a little bit." Then had to restart my computer, so I figured I could keep it
I'm
going.
like, this is amazing. We've never had 32 people watching at once. This is like great. Thanks, man.
don't get too excited. What you're seeing is probably the views. I've got this streaming to my X account, so what you're seeing is probably the views of people seeing that as they're scrolling by.
Yeah.
For StreamYard counts that.
Gotcha.
It's not actually 32 people watching because it'll get up in like the hundreds, but that's just the people that are like scrolling by and they see your live on the tweet and then they go past it.
Well, they still see it. So I
that's
still super appreciate that.
If you put the cursor over the little eye, it'll show you how many people are watching where.
Oh, okay. I'll check that out in a second here.
Did you see any of the story we started watching?
I saw it up to the point that he was talking about the kid got smoked in the face. It was a home invasion. And then it was my show after that.
Yeah, he bought a gun. It got stolen.
This is frustrating me though.
10 years later, they said we found your gun. Kid got smoked in the face.
It's okay. It's being stupid on TikTok, and it's like not going.
It's all right.
Window.
It's all right. Not a big deal. Nothing ever goes the way you want it to go.
I'll just do it like this then, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just it just seems weird that like one of the biggest apps out there, like TikTok, is so inconsistent like that.
Whisper.
Because all I did was refresh the page, and it's like a completely different website or something.
Oomba.
I'm like, why is it so
Oomba.
different? I don't know.
Hee-haw,
But,
hee-haw, hee-haw.
yeah, basically we were. Yep. Okay. Got it.
Oomba. Blow him on my kiss.
What's extra fucked is I know why he hesitated. I know exactly why he hesitated. He didn't hesitate. He pulled the trigger. That gun didn't fucking work. A week before I moved back to Fort Wayne, I was doing, it's like kid came in, met the homeowner, hesitated. And in that hesitation, homeowner shot him in the fucking face. I was like, holy shit. What's extra fucked is I know why he hesitated. I know exactly why he hesitated. He didn't hesitate. He pulled the trigger. That gun didn't fucking work. A week before I moved back to Fort Wayne, I was doing like the last job with my uncle, and he thought it would be funny fuck around time to chase me with a giant fucking spider. I fucking hate spiders. So he picks up this fucking nasty big ass fucking spider and goes, and fucking starts chasing me with it, and I'm fucking booking it, right? I'm going through the desert. I'm fucking running around this fucking house, come around the corner, and I fucking land head first into the biggest anthill I've ever seen in my life. Huge fucking anthill. I open carry. That's the first place it hit. Packed that fucking gun full of sand. Fucking like sand. Like the slide won't even slide sand. So I fucking take it back to the garage, blow it out with the air compressor, finally get the slide somewhat free, enough to where I could open it up and take everything out, clean it out, put it all back together. Shit's not really going back together that good. And remember, I'm 17 at this point, so I'm not like super knowledgeable about firearms and how they come apart and go back together. 17, you know. So I fucking, something's not quite going in right, so I just give it a little, right? Breaks some kind of little mechanism in it, and that gun never fired again. Never fired again. I never fucking fixed it. So I went back a week later to Fort Wayne thinking I'll find somebody there that'll fix it. That night, somebody stole it. They told me the story that he hesitated, and I was like, let me see that. So he hands it to me. I pop it open. I see that mechanism is still broke. That motherfucker didn't hesitate. That gun was broke.
Or maybe he
Broke when he
didn't pull the trigger, though. He could have still hesitated.
That's
We'll
a
never
wild
know.
ass
Thing has
butterfly.
not fired in like 12 years. I don't know how the fuck they
You
didn't
can
fix
pause
it.
it.
Maybe it just.
That's a wild ass butterfly flight there.
Right. Just like years passing, and there's still sand in that thing.
I hate sand. It's rough,
Yeah.
it's coarse, and it gets everywhere.
Now we know why Vader hates it.
I'm really glad that the homeowner blew that fucker away,
Yeah. Seemed like he was causing trouble for years.
especially since he had a gun and it was an armed robbery. And if he did try to kill them, you know,
Who knows what would happen?
home invasions are my. I have nightmares about home invasions and shit. But
We actually wound up. Hi, RH Snow. Good to see you.
hell, snowball.
It was poor girl had a heart attack last week. A
Yeah.
small one apparently. After her poor niece passed, they found her poor niece had passed away, and I have Mrs. Snow. I had you in our prayer group tonight when they were. We were at church, and they prayer requests. I said, yeah, told your story, so keep you in our prayers. But yeah, we are up late. I just happened to be up late because I don't have work tomorrow, and I crashed when I got back from picking my son up from school. I'm talking, I was wiped out.
I didn't know that. I'm so sorry. I love you. You always have our whole family's love and support and prayers. We're always thinking of you.
Oh man.
I need to get
That's
back
rough.
to her next book soon, because I've been thinking a lot about her book, and it's always a good thing when I think about other people's books, because I want to find out what happens next, but I also think I have a better analysis of a book after I think about it for a while. And I was actually over the last 2 days contemplating a new little video series on my channel called John A. Douglas Cooks, where I kind of go back to a book that I read a while ago and kind of just talk about it a little more, because I usually review a book right after I get done reading it, but like my thoughts on the book aren't as clear or well defined until like way later, and I've thought about it and processed the story a lot more. And her book, like, I think the most remarkable thing to it, other than just have y'all read Watcher of the Damned?
Not yet. We're making our way.
It's easy to say. It's easy to
I
sum
still
it
need
up.
the PDF we bought.
The what?
My link expired, so I was never able to access our online version.
Oh, it's easy to sum up. What's very easy to sum up her book is Beauty and the Beast in Fallout, Texas. It kind of avoids a lot of tags because there's a lot of things going on in her book, but it's very much romance at its core. It's set in a Western post-apocalypse, and the main characters, are not just a man and a woman. They are like their relationship is their whole relationship dynamic is very much like the dynamic between men and women in general, and like their archetypes of man and woman and just how they interact with each other. Saul, the titular walker of the story, he's very hyper masculine. He's strong. He's silent. He's stoic, but he's also silent because he's mute. And he's rough around the edges, but prone. He's willing to commit violence for his job, and stuck in a system that he basically a job that he hates, but he has no choice to. And he meets Rose, and Rose is smaller, and she's got a bubbly personality, and she's curvaceous, and their whole dynamic is they are both untrustworthy of each other at first, but they're very compelled towards being around each other, and they're drawn to each other in ways they can't even define. And I think the nicest touch that she put in it is you have these little sci-fi rings that they wear. Saul can't talk, but they can communicate telepathically through the rings, and the way they do that is by linking the rings together, and they have to link the rings together by holding hands. So that
That's cool.
His ring is on top of hers, connected to the ring, and that's how he communicates with her. So
That's awesome.
yeah, like that was the coolest little touch of all, I think, about their whole relationship, because they're only able to, really verbalize to each other in that way. And I'm kind of tired here, so I'm not verbalizing it in myself as well as I want to.
No, you did good. You did good.
But that whole dynamic just feels like it's drawing on something a lot deeper than just guy and girl, like each other. It feels like it draws on how we are as men and women, how we are as different, but we are as different from each other as possible, but we are still drawn to each other. And it's only when we are together that we really work right.
Have you had the chance to watch Blue Eye Samurai yet?
No, I don't have Netflix.
Okay.
Oh, that's
understandable.
Yeah, Cuties, no. Cuties was a
Yeah, hard fucking
Unforgivable,
pass.
I get it.
yeah. And they still haven't taken it down, by the way.
I mean, we illegally stream in Minecraft. I mean,
In Minecraft,
Yes.
we pirate.
yeah,
You
we're
all
Minecraft pirates.
So yeah, if you can find a way to watch that, the reason I bring it up is because I would group it in the same genre as everything that you were just talking about. Like if R.H. Snow had millions of dollars to dump into a Netflix series that was animated, I feel like it would be even better than Blue Eye Samurai, probably.
We need to get more film out of that. Like, start doing Iron Age film. Like, we need to get on this. Make some Iron Age film.
The trick is low budget.
Yeah. We can make amazing low budget stuff.
But yeah,
This kid.
the writers of Blue Eye Samurai are married, so it's a male and female both writing the story together, and like the genre
That's a
itself
narwhal, baby.
is basically just like an examination of male and female relationship. You know what I mean? That's like how it is, like kind of the whole time. And I just couldn't help but think of it when you were describing Watcher of the Damned, because I'm like, man, I would be interested to hear what she thought of Blue Eye Samurai and also the new Fallout series, because I feel like it's kind of those two with a
I'm so sorry.
Some of the best.
Dan,
He's
baby.
having fun. He's
Yeah.
having fun. The best books that I've ever read probably some of the best books I ever read came from married couples. Like they make one hell of a dynamic, and it's always brings out something special. Bless his heart, rest in peace, Steve Miller and his wife. Oh God, I can't remember her name. I feel so bad now. Steve Miller and his wife. Steve just passed away not that long ago, back in November. There was, what was her name? Margaret Weiss, Tracy Hickman, Dragonlance.
Yeah.
Richard and Wendy Penny, ElfQuest, which that I made a video just announcing that they were getting that animated thing, and I'm still getting that is algorithm gold. I am still getting hits and comments on it. It's got over 3,000 views, like 3 months after I posted it. It is insane. And there was one more. I might do a tribute video on them someday because they're pretty good. Michael O'Neill Gear and his wife. I can't remember her name at the top of my head. They did this book series called the First People of North America or something. Essentially what they do is their books are all standalones, and they're both like Native American, they're both archaeologists of North America, right? They dig up, and their specialty is like, the Native Americans, going back to, but even before it was settled. So each book is in a different region, a story set in a different region with a different people and a different culture, and different time period. There's a few common themes that run through them, like they make it very vague as whether or not there's actually magic power, where it could be seen as like there's a little magic, but it could just be they believe it is. But their books are really good. Two in particular. One was People of the Owl. That was a murder mystery. A whodunit murder mystery, was very good. And one that's going to end up on a video at some point was my favorite of their books, People of the Lakes. It is essentially a Native American Lord of the Rings.
Oh, awesome.
It is an epic quest. It's an epic quest book about a ragtag group of people who are going to, they're trying to get rid of a cursed mask. And the only way to destroy the mask from the, shamans that they have, say, is to basically go up the Mississippi River and throw it off of a blessed waterfall instead of Mount Doom.
Yes.
And it is fucking awesome.
It sounds awesome.
What is it called again?
People of the Lakes. Yes. I
That's
highly
awesome.
recommend that one. I read more than that. One was like People of the Raven was a war story. And one that was like two books that were two-parters. I haven't picked up any books of theirs lately, but you could pick up almost any book of theirs, and it's fantastic. And they're a married couple, so their stuff works.
Yeah, I think there's something to that. I really enjoy writing and then passing it off to my wife to edit, and then hearing her opinion and coming up with cool ideas.
My wife ain't interested in my stuff.
You guys are never gonna know like anything that I've had to do with his book, like the little parts and stuff.
It's
But
good though. It's good
all-
that you got a
all
little
the
bit of a
brilliant
hand.
stuff is him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He definitely has in A Promise of Starlight, which still has to be, he still has to go through and do his final edit before I do. But we're going to do it this year for sure. But I can't wait. It's so good. It's full length, and there's parts that I still like remember lines from that book that stick with me. And it's just, he just has a gift for writing. I mean, I feel that way about his lyrics and his music, but so I knew he could do it, but it still highly impressed me when I saw what he could write too. It's just like,
I feel like I got a little too dark at times. I have to dial that back. I have to dial it back a little.
Yeah.
There's a threshold where your protagonist can become extremely unlikable and irredeemable.
Yeah. That was something I kind of put into the Black Crown, and going forward, there's a line in that Ragoth has later in the book. Y'all haven't read the book yet, right?
Not yet.
Okay, so no spoilers, but this isn't much of a spoiler, but there's a line he says later on where he says, "If I rule, never a tyrant," promising himself that he'll never become the kind of tyrant that he's seen other rulers become. And so throughout the series as it goes on, being at that line of I have to be a leader and do what's right for my people, but cannot step over. He does not want to step over that line and become a tyrant ruler. That just like the kind of people that he doesn't like.
And like, without spoiling too much, the moral standing of the protagonist is kind of one of the points of my novel. It's kind of an examination, like how far would you go for your children?
Right.
Like people will become monsters for their children.
Oh yes.
And shamelessly. I wouldn't care. Like
No. I don't.
don't.
We actually had a bit of a jump last week. Somebody played Ding Dong Ditch on our house. They they banged on our trailer window.
Not good.
And I thought immediately we jumped into basically home invasion mode.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say on stream, but I was prepared.
Yeah.
What I was doing, but I don't think some people really understand that. A lot of us, I in particular, will go to extraordinarily dark, violent lengths to protect my family.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to say it on stream because I'll get banned.
Right.
I will definitely get dinged if I say what I'd be willing to do
Yeah.
to another person with my bare hands.
Yes,
But I would.
especially in Minecraft.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
were getting ding dong ditched when Xander was not even a year old, like 1:32 in the morning. And we have dogs and shit. So it's like,
Yeah.
do not ring our doorbell. And my cousin actually knew because at one point they lived down the street and it kept happening to them. So he did a stakeout. So he told me their address. And I was like, if it happens one more time, I'm going to go wake up their parents and make a big deal about it. But
That's
it
what I
never
figured.
happened.
It was probably teenagers.
Yeah.
Pranking.
I mean, you got to tell your kids, people are armed, you know, it's, and then we just had a guest, Zani, on our Pritchard Pub stream. And somebody sent us an email beforehand, and we didn't get it until after. But it was someone who doxed him and basically told us, oh, you're about to host a Fed. He worked for a security company, so he's a Fed. And we've been tracking his every move. Link. And then he said some other shit, and then he said, good luck. So it was threatening. I actually made a little YouTube video reading it. And I'm like, if someone sends you a video like this, don't click the link because that's how he's doxing people. So I'm not falling for that. And I didn't want to give attention to him, but I did want to post it. So just in case other people encounter that, they cannot click that link.
Yeah.
But you're trying to dox people. And so I'm like, I'm going to make a police report about it because Zani gave me their information. He actually hired a PI about it, and it's like this whole thing because they're harassing him so much. But I'm like, I'm going to make a report just in case, because in the event that someone tries to swat us, like, I'm not playing fucking games. So I'm going to be like, hey, we have dogs. We do a YouTube stream. This, is the situation. But yeah, we are prepared. And I would really hate to have someone break down my door and I prepare myself and then it's an officer and something bad happens. I'm terrified of that, and everyone with a family should be, honestly.
It really should. And I don't think a lot of people that you end up arguing with that are sympathetic to, they're more sympathetic to people that break into your house than they are you as a victim. And I don't give them or their opinions any credence because they're not the ones that have to deal with that aftermath. They have all the luxury in the world wherever they're at, probably from some gated community or crimeless suburb where they don't have to deal with those kinds of things. Act like they know they know all the answers to what would happen if somebody did this. If somebody came up to them, they have this notion that they can. Tim, that's actually friendly. You go up and pet it and establish dominance. You can keep one of those. You can actually train those to guard your property. I'll put you in touch with my buddy Nerva. I know he comes across like a brain-addled porn hound, but he's got skinwalkers that work for him. So he knows what he's doing.
Dude, Nerva is hilarious.
Nerva is a hoot. Nerva is one of the most interesting people to follow on Twitter. And he's a little more mild these days compared to where he was at. But man, he is a solid dude.
Agree.
It is scary. And we do not gatekeep. I don't care. With the exceptions, as I said in my video, unless you're a P3DO, you hurt animals, you do those extreme, clearly evil things. I don't care about your religion, your political stance. I mean, like, obviously, to a degree, there's extremism, but like the whole point of our role in Iron Age and culture building is we don't want to gatekeep, and we want to show that you can have relationships that are good with people that don't believe the same things as you. And
because it's more about our freedom and independence from
Exactly.
the people that have been dictating everything for like since the founding of the country, basically. You know what I mean? Like not even then. They're just like the monopoly guys, essentially.
And
Break away from
Zani
the
was
monopoly
really
guys.
great. He's like, he told me ahead of time someone might say something to him, and he was right. But I'm like, he's like, if you don't want to have me on, I understand. It's like, no, we're not going to not host a guest because some asshole's trying to fuck with you. Like, then he wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just don't, I don't know why people have to be so insane. But it sure makes the good people that much better.
Honestly, I haven't even gotten a whole lot of stuff like that. I've never gotten death threats or doxing attempts, and God willing, hopefully I don't. It's knock on wood, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hopefully I don't, you know. Even though I've pissed off a lot, I have pissed off my share of people in my time.
Yeah. Yeah. You. I've seen you throw some haymakers.
Hey, I'm about
Oh.
to read that.
Oh.
I had to chase down a dude who stole my bike right off my front porch. Cops had to take the bike as evidence, so I still lost the bike. And
Good
that's
story.
bullshit. So I have something in my throat, so that was. I tried to be like soothing and calm, but that was probably irritating. My bad.
ASMR.
I can't say nothing. My voice is my voice. It is what it is. It's got a certain quality, and it's not going to get any better.
I found out, well, the new job I got that's remote, I'm leaving for another job because the benefits, the cheapest family plan for medical and dental, shit you not, $2,300 a month. What?
Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't. So I went on to. I'm not even going to say it because I don't even want to talk about the state we live in right now. But so I went on to the state, medical site for plans, and I have been seriously hundreds of calls and texts a day that started immediately, and I'm pissed that our own government pages are doing that to us.
Yeah.
But anyway, I have been answering these phone calls, and one way to get them to stop calling you is to get them to listen, hello, and like the most blood curdling, awful, loud scream you can into the phone. So my voice is a little bit sad.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Did you guys hear that?
That was the computer.
Are you
Switching
sure?
Things, yeah.
Oh God, I thought that was your dad's guitar. So, which has happened. So at our old house, when we were a block away from my uncle, Andy went down there to have a smoke with him. I was pregnant, so we didn't have the baby yet. And we were watching a TV show, but I had it paused right in front of me. The dogs were both sleeping on the couch with me. And his dad's acoustic guitar, that's right behind us there, his late father's guitar, was in our bedroom. And I'm sitting there, the house is super quiet, and I hear a loud strum on the guitar. I'm like, whoa. So I called him. He was with my uncle down the street, and I called him to tell him about it. And he, for the first time, he is always at my uncle's house, for the first time noticed this child's acoustic guitar and had picked it up and was playing it at the same time.
Yeah, I was in the middle of playing it.
And I was like, that's your dad telling you to do music again. And then Evely comes along and all of this stuff, and he is doing music again. So it's just really cool.
Iron Age.
Yeah,
That's
cool little
crazy.
story about that guitar. So I thought it just went off again. I was like, did you hear that? But it
No, that
was
was
on
just the
computer.
computer. Yeah, I was switching. I got
It's hard
sick of
to
our
tell.
echo.
Yeah, well, it's hard to tell where things coming from
I got
with these on.
I got the echo figured out. I just have to have it set up. I was just like, I'm just switching it.
I think only you guys can hear it because I
Yeah.
So
It's good now. Yeah.
well,
I actually have more.
yeah,
with the
freaking
ghost.
Obamacare, dude.
I have more.
Oh God, don't remind me. It is
Thanks, Obama, and I mean it.
through my job. It's actually the cheapest that we and my wife could do is I get my insurance through my job, and then she gets a separate solo insurance from the exchange. Because if it puts either of us on both of them, it's too expensive. It's retarded.
Mm-hmm.
But
it is.
but I've known that for years. Like whatever they instituted in place after they passed the law was it was never intended to work. It's working as this is working as intended. It's intended to be something that ultimately fails because they want to. What they want is the point where it fails, and they go, "Oh well, we should just go ahead and have socialized medicine then, and have the government pay for it all." And I love throwing that in people's faces where they complain about it. And it's obvious you knew who they vote for. That wait, hold on now, you voted for the guy who put this in place, right? What do you mean it's too expensive? How is that supposed? It was called the Affordable Health Care Act, right? Right. You remember that, don't you? I try and red pill some people by forcing them to kind of look in the mirror a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes it goes through. Most of the time, it don't though.
Yeah.
You know,
get upset. No.
They say it takes a village, and it's our job as a village to teach each other, to show each other that self-awareness, or try to, things like that. So you're really doing a favor, in my opinion. So my job that I had when I met Andy, I paid $10 for a family plan, and it covered medical, dental, vision, all of that. I paid $10, 0 deductible, 0 cap. It was the best insurance you could possibly get. And they ended up selling the company. Benefits sucked after that. I quit anyway because of my medical issues. But after we lost Olin and I found out I had the uterine AVMs, the standard treatment is a hysterectomy. Well, I wanted to preserve my fertility, right? And have a baby. I had 3 miscarriages, and then we lost Olin, and it's like, we really wanted a family. And if I didn't have that insurance, because when we switched to his insurance and the company that bought out my company, those both were Blue Cross Blue Shield plans. And I admin the AVM, the uterine AVM group on Facebook, and Blue Cross Blue Shield will not cover the embolizations because they consider it elective.
Right.
And so I would have never been able to have my child if it wasn't for the last few months I had with that insurance. So I'm really, really blessed that we had that for the amount of time that we did.
Yeah. I'm sorry you had to go through that. Couldn't imagine how bad that felt, because when me and my wife were trying to start our family, we understood that my wife who has PCOS. We had difficulty at first, and one of her ovaries swelled into a 10-pound cyst. Right, like this thing, it had to be. It was the size of a watermelon. It had to be removed through exploratory surgery.
Yeah,
and she had one left, and we thought, we may just have one shot for one kid, and so we had to take this medicine called Clomid.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically PMS in a pill. It helps our ovulation, but it worked. And we had 2 kids with the Clomid and one without.
Heck yeah.
So we've been blessed. But that period of time where we were trying and we were not sure that it could even happen was very frightful. We wanted a family, and even being around other families with people with kids actually kind of hurt us, because it felt like we were being denied that kind of happiness.
Yeah.
So, I know kind of how that feels.
Yeah.
Thankfully,
Exactly.
that's why I get so defensive on social media when people give me that bullshit about I can't imagine having kids in this world. And it's like I get so frustrated because they don't understand how little kids need to be happy. Like, you don't have to have the highest standard of living in order for your kid to be happy. You can send that little brat outside and they'll play with sticks and be happy.
Mm-hmm.
You know how little I had growing up. There were times I was homeless because we were living out of a tent. or we were living in very poor housing when I was growing up. I never perceived that I was poor, other than the fact I really wanted an NES at the time, and I couldn't get one because they said we don't have the money. But you don't. But we had each other. We had
Yep.
love.
You're
And
rich in
that-
love.
That was fulfilling. I understood we didn't have a whole lot of money to some extent, but I had what I needed. My dad, if I wanted something, he'd find a way to get it. I mean, it was just, you know, and they have this notion. I don't know what they're thinking, especially the ones, and this frustrates me more than anything, the people who put the lifetime price tag on a kid. And I don't know where they got that number from. It's $500,000 to raise a kid through till they're 18. Like, stop. Just stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, there's your child is priceless.
Exactly.
Period. Yep.
You know, at any age.
Yep.
Your child is priceless. A child loves you unconditionally. Whether you give them the best or you only give them a little bit, you give them what you can. And they're still going to love you in return.
Just
So-
like when people say, you did not give your child the gift of life. Life gave you the gift of your child. It's so true. And I just, that struggle was really hard. I want to jump back to tell you one thing quick. So with my AVM, what happened was when it's a arteriovenous malformation, I actually had two. One was larger, feeding a second one. And so I had two different embolizations through my femoral arteries, and they blocked it off with gel foam. It didn't work. A week later, they used gel foam and particles, which if you don't have like a really good expert vascular surgeon, those particles can go to the wrong spots, like a blood vessel in your brain. It's pretty scary.
Yeah.
But you also, like, I was almost bleeding to death for 4 weeks before Andy ended up taking me to Abbott because the hospital just wasn't taking me seriously. Yeah, you bleed after you have a baby. And I'm like, I'm hemorrhaging on and off. I promise you, you know, and because what was happening was my endometrium was filling with blood and then it would just gush out. Like I woke up one morning and our bed was covered in blood. It was terrifying. And I was like popping a bunch of iron pills. And anyway, so what happened when I got pregnant, because your blood volume goes up so much, it made the AVM grow. And so one of our friends, bless her heart, I love her to death. I got mad at her, but I didn't say anything to her. After we lost Olin, and she is very religious, and so I kind of chalked it up to, she's just, you know, the whole God's plan thing. But she said to me that everything happens for a reason. And I'm like, telling Andy, how the fuck could she say something like that to someone who just lost a child? You know, I'm like, that's awful.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to hear that kind of thing when, you know, it's, you know, when you're struggling with that kind of thing. That some people only know, you know, like empty platitudes. And if I don't have something, you know, good to say towards someone, and like there's a reason I'm like not a hospice nurse, and why I don't really talk to anyone who's like, I don't want to say the word, you know, suicidal.
Yeah.
If you catch what I'm saying, because the advice I have is nothing more than would sound like empty platitudes. I'm not equipped to deal with that.
I think she meant well.
Yeah.
Like she would have found comfort in believing that, you know.
Yeah. Not like one of my former bosses, an old aging haggy old upper class lesbian who heard me and my wife were trying to get pregnant, and she, to my face, told me, "Oh, John, you're too poor to have kids."
Oh,
like,
come on.
Honestly, I've never been so gobsmacked in my life.
If you wait till you have money or wait till this or that, it's never going to happen if you wait until.
That legitimately was the most insulting thing someone's ever told me.
It's
That actually hit me hard, because I was like, what, you know, and I went back and I was legitimately hurt, because who was this person to judge me that I didn't have enough money to have? Who are you? You don't have a right to tell me what I can and cannot do with my family life.
Yep, exactly. You're allowed to build your family and be happy if that's the only happiness you're going to get out, like, but so my friend, she said that, whatever. I ended up finding out because we lost Olin at 16 weeks to a cord accident. I found out that they told me if I went any further along, it pretty much almost for sure would have just ruptured during my pregnancy, and I would have just bled out and died right away. So both of us would have died. And so his original due date was in the middle of July. Olin's was. And when my body didn't recognize it, so I was induced and, delivered him at the hospital. And that was January 28th. And Andy wrote me a really sweet Mother's Day card that May. And he's like, our son can't wait to come back to us, things like that. Very sweet. And we found out we were pregnant with, so Xander, I was supposed to be, they made me go 3 months after the AVMs resolved on hormones, then just my birth control, which is the same hormone, but my birth control is 0.35 milligrams. And they made me take 10 milligrams extra for anyway. And then they wanted us to switch to condoms. So we did. And every time I've ever stopped a pill, even skipped a pill, it would trigger a period. I must have ovulated right away because we got pregnant. And I found out I was pregnant with Alexander on Olin's original due date. Isn't that wild? It makes you think,
Yeah. I'm gonna spill this one. This one was funny. When we found out we were pregnant with our first boy, they said, okay, this is the due date, and this was the conception date. And I looked at the conception date, and I'm like, I remember this night. The only reason that particular night happened was because House was preempted by baseball on TV.
The show.
And we were usually playing, it was a Tuesday night. House always aired. We loved the show. And we're waiting for it to come on. Oh no, baseball is on. What do we do? Well, don't want to be bored. And wouldn't you know it?
That's amazing. Mario, women have to deal with that too, just so you know. We all have to find a person that's not crazy first. So a lot of people probably don't know my stance on abortion. And they could think that I'm pro-life or pro-choice based on the people I associate with, because I know a lot of people that are very heavily both. And I have always personally been more pro-choice because I don't feel like I have the right to tell someone what to do with their body. Although I do believe your partner should have an equal say if it's their child also. And, you can string me up for that if you want, but you decided to lie together. You made a baby together. You should both deal with that. It drives me crazy when people go to court when they're divorced and have to battle it out. It's like, you can't just be civil parents for that child and, work it out. It makes me sad. But anyway, I am not going to lie. If I had gotten pregnant with my abusive ex, and I mean, he was abusive. He almost unalived me. He did horrible things to me. He spit in my face. He tried to throw my purse out of the freeway at night in the middle of New Mexico. The list goes on and on and on. And he would have unalived me that night. He threw me down and he pinned me down and started strangling me. And I was losing consciousness, and his friend happened to walk in. What the fuck are you doing? Anyway, I would have had an abortion. I'm being totally real with you. And I'm not the type that would want an abortion, but I would not have been able to, it's not about I don't want to be tied to this person forever. I would not want someone to have a father like that. And it was, I don't know. Luckily I have never been pregnant by anyone besides my husband. But I think the decision is very, very hard for some people to make regardless. And it's a very touchy subject, and I will always, always, always understand why people are pro-life. They truly believe that that baby's life matters, and I do too. And like looking back on my situation, I'm really, 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 really glad that I didn't have an abortion. I'm really glad that I never had to make that choice, because part of me thinks I probably would have just like taken off and hidden it from him early. You know what I mean? And I don't like to think about it too much, of course, but I mean, babies are so precious, and we do have such a bad system for, you know, foster care and adoption. It should be better reformed, just like the government. And it makes me sad, but the fact that somebody could say to you, John, that you don't have money is wild to me, because you see two people that love each other and want to build a family and build that love and support and goodness that we need so much of in the world.
Well, again, also remember, and it hurts a little less later, because I realize she's an upper crust older lesbian who's not married. And, you know, she was an old cat lady at the time I met her anyway. So like, just out of touch. I didn't even realize I had this dice. Hit him with the blue shell. Apparently it's a Mario dice. A Mario Kart dice. I don't know where this came from.
Nice.
I've never seen this before.
It's a good one.
You'll have to forgive me. You'll have to forgive me. I like messing with dice. It's very, I don't know.
Mine.
Speaking of dice, our little one shot that we were talking about was approved by Twitter, and I think I'm going to do a little prototype to see if it's viable for the Iron Age and stuff. I'm pretty sure it is it is super doable, but I don't think anybody else is going to be doing one before Pritchard Pub goes live with our one shot. So I'm going to try to be a good example, because I want other people to do it too.
If I was going to be more involved in like the D&D stuff, I had a chance when I was involved with Geeks and Gamers Tabletop doing their Starfield stuff, but like, there we go. Nice. Unfortunately, my Monday through Friday work schedule is so eclectic and it changes that I couldn't commit to any time for a regular stream. That's why all my streams are at different days and different times sometimes.
Yeah, ours is like that for a while, and then we like buckled down, and now we're just gonna make it work, even if there's only one of us.
I've got so many dice, RH Snow. I've got this is they'll all fit in this. I love this bag right here. This is probably the best dice bag right here. The dice giveth and the dice taketh away. And then it's got, you can put it on like a backpack or something.
Do I have your Labradorite one in here, or do you have that?
I think that's been a special.
I got him a Labradorite one where the crit fail says fuck.
Yeah, I've seen those. I got a dice tower full of them up there, big ones, small ones. I got all the Starfinder dice, which kind of roll like shit, to be perfectly honest. Metal dice roll like shit too. And dice with stuff in them look cool, but they also roll like shit. They're unbalanced.
Right. The weight. Yeah, I don't have too many crazy thoughts other than that I am very aware that the cut can affect how it rolls, and also like what you said, like the material it's made out of and the consistency of it. So like she said that she got me a Labradorite one, which is true, but that's something you got to be careful with, because if you get like a certain type of stone that just the nature of the stone is, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like what comes to mind is like agate. If you get like an agate dice, that would probably roll like shit, because it's my understanding it's a bunch of different layers of different minerals that create an agate. So
yeah,
it would have to be off weight, you know.
Yeah, just the little solid plastic ones are the ones that roll best. And there's a way to test them. You mix in a bunch of salt and water until the salt stops dissolving. Yeah. Very warm water, and you stir in salt until the salt stops dissolving and it settles at the bottom. And then you put your dice in there and you start rolling it around and seeing if it keeps coming up on like a certain set of numbers.
Wow.
Like if it keeps coming up on a certain set of numbers, it's unbalanced.
Yeah. No, totally. And that makes sense because that's how sensory deprivation tanks work. The whole point is to just confuse your body's center of gravity, right? So like if you're like letting the dice do that and it just keeps popping up 17s over and over again, it's like, wonder what's going on there.
Well, look, man, this has been a lot of fun, but I'm gonna have to go ahead and head on out. We're gonna be heading for bed soon.
For sure.
And got some doctor's appointments tomorrow and stuff. I'm gonna be on. For everyone watching, I'm going to be live with Royce and Richard on J.R. Carroll's channel tomorrow. You can find, if you go back and look at his episode of the Author's Outpost, you'll find the link to his channel. And we will be on there together talking about the Iron Age to him.
Heck yeah. And are we, is there still a Friday thing going on?
Yes. We should be. I got my son wants to talk about it because he's a big Fallout lore aficionado. And
Awesome.
He will be joining us. He will not be on stream like his face, only his voice.
Right.
Because he don't want his face on the internet.
That's a cool idea. Actually.
Reasonable.
Like off camera.
How old is he?
He's 17.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's like a very Jamie from Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
How old are your girls? I thought you had 3 little kids. I don't know why.
No. My oldest is 17. My daughter is 11, and my youngest son just turned 8.
Oh, I thought you had 2 girls too. My bad. So that's cool.
It's the one. Yeah, and so far the other guests will have Vex Electronica will be with us, and she's a pretty sizable YouTuber in herself.
Awesome.
I haven't streamed with her before.
Oh, we'll have to catch that.
I thought Ego was going to be able to join us, but he didn't. He's not going to be done with it in time.
Night, Snowball. Love you. Be well.
Who else? It might just be. And Spence from Fantasy Files podcast is going to be there.
Awesome.
Heck yeah. I can't wait because
Awesome, Tim.
Over on our end, at the Iron Seas with Bad Sauce and Kahuna, Kahuna's kind of been caught in the middle with Bad Sauce not liking the show and me liking the show. But like, I totally understand all the reasons he doesn't like it.
I generally enjoyed it, but I've got it's a mixed bag.
Same.
It's a really big mixed bag.
Right there with you, yeah.
Do you play D&D with your kids,
Yes,
John?
we've been playing it for
I
years.
can't wait.
We're actually gearing up to go through one of the starter boxes again because we took a break just because I was working so much, and Fridays have kind of settled as a really good day, and they're itching to play something again. I said, look, here's what we can play. I got all the minis and the maps and the starter stuff for a D&D campaign.
Game night.
I got a bunch of Starfinder stuff, and that's a little more complicated, but there's a lot of stuff to it. It's fun.
Yeah, he plays Armada and stuff. That's like
now
he's a good
Warhammer,
teacher, so like he's
basically
taught me
Warhammer.
magic and sorry.
And I gave him a couple other choices like a Mario campaign or Minecraft campaign and even a Fallout campaign, and they were like, "No, let's just do regular D&D." Okay, no problem.
Fallout. I will say this: Fallout transfers over to real D&D very easily.
Yeah, I think I've got that actually down here somewhere. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, is there an official one?
No, it's an unofficial one. This is a 5e Fallout conversion that I printed out. It's probably been updated since. I never actually played it though, but it had I really like the stat sheets that somebody come up with.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yeah,
that's the fun of it.
That's one. This is another good one too, right here.
Well, that's the thing about okay, I know you got to go, but like I'll just be quick. That's the really good thing about Fallout. Anybody out there who's looking to homebrew but they don't have like a world, consider the Fallout world because it's all laid out for you already. Think about the special stats: strength, perception, endurance.
Yep.
Down the line, it's all just laid out for you, and you can almost just kind of straight up copy the games in a lot of ways and fill in the blanks with 5e.
That's one of the best things about 5e. You can reskin it to almost any setting.
Yes. Yes,
It's
a
very
hand
good.
crossbow becomes a 6-shooter, you know, et cetera, et
All right.
cetera. Anyway,
Look, man, I gotta sign off. Thank you guys for having me. It's been fun.
it's been awesome. I'll leave you with this.
I love it. Thank you, man.
It was so wonderful to meet you and stream with you.
Later, guys.
Yeah. Have a good one.
Take care.
And for those
Okay.
remaining,
Let's play a few more videos.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
I'm going to play videos until wifey comes back. Thanks to everybody listening so far. And yeah, God bless you too, Hail Lord. And you're rad, RH Snow. And you're rad, Hail to the Lord also. And oh man, I am so blessed to have the community I have. Let's watch. I've been seeing a lot of these clips going around like this. I'm never sure if they're real movies. You know, I'm watching them and I'm never sure if it's a real movie, but I get intrigued because even if it's not a real movie, it's like, oh, that was actually pretty cool, you know? So it gets the pass. There's a lot of cool stuff that was going on there, cool concepts. And that's enough for me a lot of the time.
Here's how I did the special effects for the opening of my new sci-fi film. First, let's grade the footage. I use DaVinci Resolve to do the color grading to get this cinematic look. Then I use a stock video of particles that's already made, put it on top of the graded footage. Then it needs a little bit of cropping from all the sides, to the left, from the right, the top, and the bottom. Let's make it a little bit smaller and then soften the edges. And then we need to move it and rotate it. And then we need to pitch so it's got that 3D feel. And voila!
It's just fascinating, obviously. Oh, welcome
I
back.
don't know who need to hear this.
Thanks, Steph.
All set.
Yeah, babe.
I don't know who need to hear this, but did you know your kid is a human being too? You know your kid has thoughts, wills, and emotions that are different than your own. You know your kid doesn't see life the same way you see life. You know your kids are experiencing things for the first time. Did you know that your child is not you? Do you know that kids still have to develop fine motor control? Did you know that a child's brain is still developing and it takes time to develop skills? Did you know you have to tell a child more than once to do something? Did you know you have to practice with your child a skill that you want them to get, even if it's something like listening? Did you know that failure is actually an important part of the learning process? Did you know, like your child, you're also going to make mistakes and mess up? The same way you expect to have grace for raising your children and messing up, have that same grace for your child when your child messes up. And I can help you.
I can totally relate to that because we fell asleep on the couch the other night and I woke up like this and I oh, it hurt so bad to lift my head back up. But I also fell asleep with my wrists like that, on my legs. And obviously I've had a tailbone removal surgery, so falling asleep sitting was not fun there either. So I just was like, ah!
But yeah, thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, it's always good to see you, Tim, and everyone. We appreciate you very much. Until next time.
Sir, before I take you out of the car, I just got a few questions I got to ask you. Do you have any weapons on you right now? You do. Like what?
This right hand and this left hand.
All right. Now is not the time to make jokes. I'm going to ask you some serious questions and I need some serious answers. All right. Do you have anything that can poke me, stab me, or stick me? A knife, pocket knife, anything like that, a needle? I can't check because my hands are handcuffed. As far as you know, do you have anything like that on you? Not sure. Do you have any drugs or alcohol on you as far as you know? I don't think so. Okay. He drank them all. When we get inside the building, if I find anything on you, that's going to be another charge. Oh. So tell me now. Will I go to jail? All right.
That guy's ridiculous.
What are you gonna take me to jail? Oh, I'm already here. I don't know about a legend, but it's a little silly.
It's funny.
Yeah.
All
Potato
right, so
bread.
let's go shopping in Dillingham, Alaska. All right, if you want some donuts, they're only $8. You can get a
$15
PB&J,
for
and,
peanut butter.
You're gonna
What's
go ahead
going
and
on in
start out
Alaska? This
with
is
some
fucking alarming.
$59 bread, and you got some peanut butter
Something
for
to be done.
$14.99.
Our
So,
government
if you're
needs
balling
to
on a
do
budget, you can
something
always do
about these
that.
companies
Ketchup
raping
is a good
us.
$18.79.
For one, we
If
need
you
to
like
stop
beans or canned goods, they're
letting
just
our
only
government take
$8.03.
money from those
So,
criminals also.
that's great. You got
Because
$47
then
for
guess
some
what?
steak,
Guess what happens?
and
Shit
if you
like
do
this,
steak
and
and
the
potatoes,
companies
let's go ahead and get
control
some
the laws and
$26
everything.
potatoes. Yep,
Much like how
$26 for potatoes.
we're not going to get into it.
When I tell you, we would never
I
drink
mean,
juice
we're
in my
already in
house.
it, but yeah.
Juice wouldn't even be allowed at this point. Like, we will only be drinking water. So let's go see how much the waters are.
I think I have the perfect reaction.
You know what? On second hand, we don't need to drink water either. At this point, we can go outside, get a bucket of ice or snow, and we can let it melt, and we will drink a bucket of snow water every day at these prices. Yep, $17
I'll just
for
keep
the
drinking my
cheese.
piss at that
And
price.
chips,
Right.
we won't even know what chips are anymore
$11.29.
because they're just not allowed. $11.29 for a bag of chips. Or you could go ahead and get this cute little party tray for $40.99. Okay. You get the crackers, the cheese, and all that. Oh my goodness. $10.69. Okay, not bad, not bad. Look at that on sale. Or you can go ahead and get a bigger one for $16.59. Go ahead and get that ice cream. All right, another sale. Okay, $18.56 for the pie. I like the
This
sales.
makes my heart so sad.
That's right. It's a 6-pack of toilet paper, the off-brand. You
Yeah,
see it.
off-brand.
Or you can get the 12 rolls. Look at that juice.
Fake ass juice, $18.
For the regular Hawaiian punch.
I don't know if they have
There's nothing extraordinary
tax
about
on
it.
their
This
food.
is what
I
you're
know
getting right
Minnesota
now.
doesn't have sales tax on food.
$17. Can't even get a cute little pack of
But
juice because
it doesn't matter. Even without tax, this is
And then you
insane.
think the noodles would be like
$22.99 for
the
a
cheap.
pack
Oh,
of
okay. I see the
fucking
sale.
ramen.
$18.39. Okay. Yeah, can't even get noodles out here.
I have the perfect reaction. The
Yeah.
perfect reaction. Just stressed out
We've
off
already
of
said that. No, wait. We haven't. Never mind. I mean, we have, but not.
Yeah.
Never mind.
And a kid tells you that they're transgender, believe them. A lot of people will say that it's impossible for a 4-year-old.
Why is it always people that don't have kids that are speaking for children? I'm trans and I've been a stepmother for the last 2 years. He's 5 now and has no idea that I'm transgender. He's not ready for that conversation, and we don't plan to tell him for a very long time until he's old enough to understand. 5-year-olds believe Santa Claus exists. And the fact you can sit there and tell me a 3, 4, 5-year-old is mentally competent enough to transition is fucking insane and borderline predatory. I'm thankful I waited until I was
Not
an
even
adult,
borderline.
because as a
Yeah, yeah.
child, I would
It's
not have
straight
been
up
mentally
grooming and
for how
predatory.
serious a transition is.
Right.
What baffles me is that these radicals
I've always
that
loved
transitions are so
cars. I
normal
used to like
and
run my
not a big deal.
Barbies and
My
play
stepson,
with
for
cars
example,
instead.
loves pink and
I would have totally been
trust me, I'm all
brainwashed
for
by
pushing gender
people
norms, but none of
into
that
being
means that he's
trans
These people
these
and
days.
children must medically transition
100%.
to be validated.
Like
but
we
they
had a
won't grow
joke where my
mentally
mom called me her
validated
only
for
son
transition
and shit.
whatsoever.
It's
Wild. It's
Yeah.
not safe or morally ethical
Back when it was
to
okay.
allow children to transition. Let kids be kids.
Thank you. That's a based trans woman talking there.
Based.
Excuse me. Oh my God. My voice is fucked.
All right, let's see what the family's up to this morning, day after Thanksgiving. Yeah, there's my little girl. Got her nice little bone. Oh, crap, you guys are playing Monopoly? Who's winning? Papa is? Nice. Good going, Pops. How's it going, Dad? Oh, my two boys. Where's Mom? Mom's out in the garage? Mom! Hi, Nate. Quit this. Thought you learned the first time.
So
That made me sad.
yeah, it's incredibly sad, but also the dude's clever as hell. I don't know where he got the idea, but
Yeah. We all have our ways of coping.
this is a more wholesome one.
Wheezy, you didn't give birth yet, honey. She's not your kitten. Wheezy, Wheezy, honey, Wheezy, let her down. She's not your kitten, honey. You didn't give birth yet. I know, but you didn't give birth.
But I want
She's not yours.
I could.
I know, honey. Soon. I know. Soon.
That's sweet.
Wheezy.
When an elementary school student was bullied over the shirt he made for College Colors Day, people stepped up to show love in a huge way. When his teacher announced they're having a College Colors Day, he told her he really wanted to wear a University of Tennessee shirt, but didn't have one. So she told him he could wear an orange shirt to show his spirit. Every day leading up to it, he told her he had an orange shirt he was going to wear. When the day finally arrived, he was so excited to show her the shirt. He had taken it a step further and made his own University of Tennessee logo and pinned it on his shirt. After lunch, he went back to his desk, put his head down, and was crying. Some girls at the lunch table next to his were making fun of him for the logo he had created. His teacher posted this story to Facebook and said that she was going to get him a University of Tennessee shirt and wanted to see if anyone had connections to the university to make it a little more special.
My viewers, we have one on
Then,
Pritchard
the
Pub.
internet did what the internet does, and the post went viral among Tennessee fans. Letters and packages started pouring in from the University of Tennessee fans. And the university even sent a box
Gotta
of
make that
goodies.
one live.
Then the university took it even a step further and turned his design into an official University of Tennessee shirt, with a portion of proceeds from every shirt sold being donated to an anti-bullying foundation. The demand for the shirt was so high that it crashed the website. Around 115,000 shirts were sold, and over $950,000 donated to stomp out bullying. When the young man who made the original shirt reaches college, he has a full ride scholarship waiting for him at the University of Tennessee.
And this scholarship too. I love wholesome stuff like that. Beautiful.
Agreed.
Faith in humanity and stuff. This looks pretty sketch. What does the thing in his hand have to do with it?
What's happening is his lightning machine is shooting electricity into the air,
Yeah.
which is charging the particles in the room.
Oh,
and he's
so-
he's literally just holding a light bulb
Oh,
that's not
goodness.
screwed in. It's a filament light? Not a filament.
Or the
Gas. That's gas.
fluorescent.
Yeah, fluorescent. That's one.
Okay, that's
He's just holding it.
can't be safe.
Yeah, that's probably why he's standing back.
That's a mad scientist if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh boy.
We're protesting. Thank you.
What are we protesting?
We're protesting everything. We're angry and we're not going to take it anymore. We're protesting. Thank you.
What are we
Rude.
protesting?
We're protesting everything. We're angry and we're not going to take it anymore. We're protesting. Thank you.
What are we?
I knew she was a dependent the moment I heard her say this.
If I didn't make enough money, I would not be able to afford a Dodge Challenger.
Not the Dodge Challenger. Let me guess, it has a 22% APR. But the best part, listen, was what she goes on to say.
I have thousands of dollars worth of artwork on my body. I have $7,000 breast implants.
This is the definition of the saying money talks and wealth whispers. Girl, you are flexing your debt and your spending. Then she did the other classic dependent move, which was bring her husband on in uniform to silently defend her honor.
He has tattoos just like me, except for his face and neck. I think it's pretty self-explanatory where he found his job.
I'm kind of stunned she didn't make him stand at parade rest, but that poor buddy is now getting fucking roasted by the military groups online, the subreddits, Facebook groups, Instagram. He should have seen this coming. Buddy, is the BAH worth it? Because let me tell you, the barracks may be full of molds and they may light up like a Christmas tree under a fucking black light, but they will not make you deal with this. And when you leave her, and you will, because young military marriages these days, they don't fucking last. This girl is going to slash the tires on your 22% APR Challenger, and it's going to be a lot worse. The girl's going to take you for everything you have. So please, in the future, choose more wisely.
Her original video was talking about how TJ Maxx didn't hire me. They sent me an email, so I went to the store to confront them. And she's just got a bad attitude, and she's blaming it on her tattoos, which, like, they're aggressive and satanic and all over her face too.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't look exactly approachable. And she made follow-up videos like, first of all, hiring managers are telling me they wouldn't hire me. I don't care. I didn't want a job with you. I wanted to work at TJ Maxx.
And then that's when she was like, I don't need it. I have this, I have that.
I go shopping all the time.
And she brought her boyfriend on, and now he's getting kicked out of the military. It's a whole escalating thing.
You don't even need that job or care about it.
I
You
see-
just wanted some extra money for whatever. It was
I see
crazy.
obscure shorts about it on YouTube from my unconnected account from this. This is Katie's TikTok, and I see on my YouTube randomly that because her face is like famous now at this point. You see this like the crazy tattooed face lady, and you're like, oh, this lady, and it's always somebody saying something about it, and she just didn't say the right things.
Yeah.
It's-
People are giving her constructive criticism and she's not here for it. So
Oh yeah. This is yeah.
don't do that one.
Don't do this one?
Right.
Okay, here I'm gonna go to the next one. Same deal?
Yeah. Same.
This
I
one.
don't know what that is.
This is where we got to in the videos before our internet crashed.
Okay.
We were sitting here and we didn't listen to this yet.
All right.
But the story looks interesting.
Yeah. Maybe.
A 23-year-old Florida woman was posing as a 14-year-old.
I actually used to go to school with her. That's me in the corner. But let's just
That's
say
me in the corner.
Right.
That's me in the spot.
went to.
Right. Losing my...
We both graduated in 2020. I've known her since my sophomore year to graduation date, and I did the yearbook there, so I would know a lot of people around the school. But she was in and out of school because I guess she used to be homeschooled, which that part is true, allegedly, from what I was told, because she told me that. I've known her through a mutual friend. We're gonna call him C for the time being because there were multiple boys and like multiple occasions where it was like kind of awkward or weird. But C and her were like mutual friends, I guess you could say. So she would be like obsessed with him some days, like where you would just turn the corner and she was there. C and her we're mutual friends since, like, I guess you can say middle school, if I remember correctly. So, but she wanted it to be a little bit more than friends when eventually they got to high school. But from that experience, he wasn't really attracted to her because he was like she was weird in a sense, but she was also like silent, like to herself. One weird occasion that
Is there
we
a
had,
point to
well,
this?
I had was I asked her because
I think he
for
saw
some
his
reason she
classmate in the
actually knew to lie
news
by her age,
and then just
thinking
decided
that it
to
was
say
a
everything he
coincidence that they
remembers.
said that. And I was like, she used to do that in high school for some reason. I don't know
Or
why,
maybe
but
not the point.
I guess that was her thing.
Lying
Because I
about her
asked
age
her
was your
age, and
thing?
she was like, she was 15 or 16, but also
Well, she's always been lying about her age.
Yeah.
they
Interesting.
would call them like a super senior, but it was because she failed a grade because she was homeschooled, allegedly. That's what she told me. But I was like, I didn't pay any attention to it because I was like, I guess if you do go homeschool, some schools don't recognize like, hey, you didn't have enough credits or you didn't learn this, so they just held her back a year. So later on in the year, me and C had a mutual friend. We're gonna call him B. She would text him. He was also younger than
Who's
us.
A? Is he A?
She would also text him, but
Was that an orb that
it was on
floated in?
Snapchat, which is
Probably.
also another weird thing because that's what they said she was accused on. But she used to text on Snapchat a lot. And another weird thing, she would also send like explicit videos of herself and pictures to the other boy, which was like kind of weird. But boys in high school, I'm just gonna assume like they really didn't care because it's like a beautiful girl and things like that. So this is our lunchroom. Usually there's chairs to
This is
What's
our
this
lunch
guy
hour.
the
talking
left,
about?
like in the row like this.
This is a skit from Rick and Morty. I'm positive.
The line would start from
He
our
just
lunch line would start
this is
from
all
the middle, from the doors all the way to the right side where those windows are, and would it wrap all the way up. So
Let's
me and my
just
friends,
wrap
we would
it
walk
after
from
this
down the
one.
hallway and go to our
All
lunch
right,
table,
This is
which
a
folks.
good
is
one to
the
just go the
last
fuck to
trash
bed
can on the
after so I
side.
can think about this all night.
And
Like,
she would
what?
be waiting on the right
Oh yeah, our,
What's
because
the
she
point
sat
of
across
our
on
friend here
the
and
right side on the last third one.
the lady who doesn't know what age she is.
And they
Signed
would
us up
sit
good.
like on the left side of the table, and I would sit on the right side of the table. But she was in eye view of all of us, so it was kind of weird. She would like sit across and like look at us or
The fuck
watch
are you
us eat.
talking about?
So after that, it was already kind of awkward or weird, but there were other little things that I'm probably not allowed to say on the app because it's a little bit more. But the next
What?
boy, we're gonna call him Jay. He was also related to C, but they had a weird relationship. But I'm gonna have to save that for part 2.
Oh, hell no. Am I going to part 2 of that shit? What are you talking about, dude?
Another 5-minute part 2. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us, sticking with it. Until next time.
Sleepy. Sub to the pub. Like, share. We love you all.
Peace.
Based.